Years ago, my journey started at sea, as it must for all who journey to these lands.
We begin in Japan, as a group of IKEA merchants request an audience with Oda Nobunaga. Our protagonist Diogo sets the stage, stating how Japan was in a period of warring and chaos, with Nobunaga being the current shogun at the time. And they really want you to know that Nobunaga took an immediate interest in him. Let's see how they built that up. Despite Nobunaga barely looking in his direction, the furniture peddlers think he's interested in Diogo.
Viste como Lord Nobunaga olhou para o Diogo? Será que nunca viu homem negro antes?
I mean, it's 1500 Japan. He should be very much intrigued at the sight of a black man.
Christ almighty. Are you alright, sir?
But look back at his eyes in that scene. He scans the crowd and doesn't even linger on Diogo. You would think that would be something they would have him do to emphasize that intent. Details matter after all, but maybe I'm just cherry picking. Whatever, moving on. Nobunaga wants Diogo included in his audience, much to the chair carrier's dismay.
Lord Nobunaga commands that the black man join you.
But he is my sword bearer, a slave. He does not speak the language.
Which just makes me wonder why they even have him in their company at all. For protection?
A nossa segurança deve-se ao Diogo. Sua presença manteve os monges e os bandidos bem longe.
What are you to him, Diogo?
I am like a bodyguard. I am to ensure he is safe in this land that is foreign to him.
So maybe he's just being a whiny racist then.
Devia ter deixado no porto. Ou flutuar no mar onde encontramos.
Let's see if they keep up with that consistency. IKEA presents their finest decor in exchange for their priests to roam free in Japan, but Nobunaga isn't convinced.
Perhaps before you worry about your priest's feet, you may wish to plead for their heads.
And he actually notices Diogo this time around.
Your black man has the instincts of a warrior. His eyes found every threat in the room.
I am sorry, Lord Nobunaga. He does not understand us.
I would have many questions for this man, if only he understood. He is all the people of Kyoto speak about since his arrival.
Paz quando nos deitarmos a mão.
They cut the shit and have him speak up.
Mitsuhide tells me you are playing at being simple-minded.
Apparently he can understand their language and even speak as they do. I wonder if there's a good explanation for that.
Though I have spent some time in these lands, I am still a student of its language and customs.
By the sound of it, you might teach Luis Frois a thing or two.
I have practiced with him, but I also listen to the people here.
So he practices with one of the men he travels with, enough to speak fluently. But why would they ever teach him anything? I can understand the Portuguese because that's their native language, but were they expecting him to ever speak Japanese during this trip?
Have you been deceiving me, Father Valignano?
No, Lord Nobunaga. Even I am surprised to hear Diogo speak like this.
I guess Louise was just being polite, and how convenient that turned out to be. Because Nobunaga is so impressed by Diogo that he offers to take him in. Or in his words,
Under me, sandal bearers become lords. I see potential in this man. A warrior whose spirit can inspire armies.
a very bold claim to make of a man you barely know with a single glance to analyze, but regardless, it is a start. It'll be interesting to see how this relationship evolves over time. Can't wait to see it.
He will be tested. He may become a legend. Or he may die.
Cut to 6 months later where Yasuke is now a full-fledged samurai. Pretty quick turnaround on that front. 6 months seems a touch too short, but I suppose it can be believable if he was training that entire time. Can't wait to see it. Anyways, we play as Yasuke, slaughtering shinobi and raising up a village. And he seems to be a bit torn up about the destruction.
What is it?
I've never fought a battle like this. So many lives.
Maybe there is something to him having to grapple with his loyalty to Nobunaga and having to take innocent lives. Can't wait to see it. We cut once again to the second and actual main character, Naoe, overlooking Nobunaga's invasion with her father Nagato as he rushes off elsewhere. Apparently another group is invading at the same time, and Nagato sends Naoe away to protect the box he has stashed somewhere.
The door will open. To this blade is a key. Inside the coffin is a box. Protect it with your life.
You're here.
Oh, I just watched someone die. Because she's dead. She got hit with a spiked bat by a man more than double her size. Her head is gone. That eyeball would have gone clean out of her skull. But let's pretend she survives this. At least there's some lasting damage.
The box. I couldn't stop him.
I should not have put you there. My oath.
Seems to have a concussion and is fading in and out of consciousness, enough to barely hear what her father is saying.
Your mother.
My mother.
So much like her. I never saw her again.
At least that's what the game is implying. And the game certainly wouldn't lie to me.
Stuart!
Wow, that scar is healing up nicely. And after a couple of hours. Huh.
I'm Tomiko. Your father brought you here. I'm surprised he made it in his condition. How's the rest of you?
Nothing's broken.
Nothing's broken? I'm sorry, that cheekbone is shattered. Her orbital is fucked. But again, let's pretend Tomiko is the greatest doctor in media since Mary fucking Hamilton. Because Naoe is up and incredibly coherent. She races to retrieve the box and notices the mask that was left behind in the tomb. Apparently, Nagito grabbed the mask despite not showing it.
It might be among Nagato's things.
This is it.
I've seen one like it. Years ago.
What does it mean? Who is behind it?
They show him looking at it, but he immediately grabs Naoe, not the mask. This is twice now where they've stated someone doing something, but not actually doing it, which is pretty cool. Anyways, Tomiko tells her to go to Katano because that's where the samurai could be, a complete guess that ends up being entirely correct. As Naoe dashes and swims across the field, still injured by the way, she makes it to her destination, searching to find a way in that doesn't alert anyone inside.
Better to keep out of sight.
You've made a mistake.
Okay, let's try that again. She finds a way in that doesn't alert anyone inside, landing on a pile of hay that's just on top of this building. Yeah, I know it's a series staple and all, but it's just so out of place. Probably sounds louder rustling through hay than softly landing on concrete. Anyways, she makes it to the thief with the box and takes everyone out with no issue. You'd almost forget she got one tapped earlier, but she doesn't get far.
She's just a child.
She's like a cat with a gold coin. She has no idea what she carries.
They were just waiting for her to escape, I guess. But also, what if she went back the way she came in? You know, on the horse. Because narratively, she took the horse with her.
I'll take my father's horse. I could reach the castle tonight. I'll get to Katano faster by horse. To Katano! Ride, kitty!
Meaning she brought it outside the castle only to abandon it. Oh, look! Nagito makes it just in time.
Merda!
The box is not for you.
That is correct. It is for me.
Unfortunately for both of them, the rest of the Shimbafuku... Anyways, the rest of the Shimbunbafu have arrived, making sure to take the time to chew the scenery. Well, it looks like they're both done. Neither of them are surviving this. Not unless, of course, they just let Naoe live for no real reason. But surely if they're smart enough to gather together, they're smart enough to quell any opposing forces that yet live.
Put them out of their misery. Your life's work is undone tonight.
No! Let them suffer! Let them die in pain.
Why? Why does Van Gogh want to leave them there? Why not ensure that they're both dead here and now? Surely either of them wouldn't live through their injuries and seek revenge on each and every one of you because you couldn't be bothered to finish the job. Man, where have I seen this one before?
Nice shot. Fine. We have what we came for.
Fine? Fucking fine? You know what would be better than fine? Ensuring that the people trying to take the box won't come back and take it. Again. Whatever, job's done. Great work, team. Round of applause. Fuck off.
I kept too much from you. Now, it dies with me.
Stop talking like that.
Before Nagito croaks, he tells Naoe to follow the blade and remember the song. This one specifically. It'll come up pretty much immediately. It is her motif, and trust me, they won't let you forget it.
In the music, we are together always.
Well, that was a quick game. Nagito and Naoe both bleed out in the field, with the box gone and the promise lost in the night. It's all over. Unless, of course, she wakes up in another... Oh, for fuck's sake.
How did I get here?
We're then treated to the first of many flashbacks, which probably should have served as the actual prologue, but regardless, it's set 2 years past. For the sake of properly telling the story, I'm putting together the whole set of flashbacks now. Alive Nagito is training Naoe, and assumedly has been for some time.
Yesterday, you were slow. Today, we move faster.
Keep this in mind. This is also the third fighting tutorial within an hour. I already know how to fight from the Yasuke portion and the Katano raid. I don't need yet another tutorial on how to play when it could have served as a cutscene. Whatever, their training is finished for the day.
I let you win.
I am ready to train with the others, Chichue.
This training is enough. You have other obligations.
I am the daughter of one of Iga's greatest warriors. Don't I have a reputation to uphold?
You are also a daughter of Iga. That means caring for the people within it.
He teaches her about community, and she goes to help her aunt by investigating some poachers with phenomenal voice work, messing with deer and crops.
That means mine. Why in my hand?
Someone made a fire, and I hear voices.
We should be on the road to Yamato already.
Not till my belly's full. Eat!
Strangers, not from Iga. Who are you?
Who wants to know?
I do.
We are innocent survivors from battle, starving and alone. You would turn us away?
Not with that flimsy bokken, she won't.
Leave! Now!
Make us.
Acting. She's not worth it!
Go! Go!
And stay out of Iga!
Just in time. The miso shiru is almost ready.
This victory is short-lived as Oda's men have arrived to attack Iga.
They're coming.
Who?
The armies of Oda Nobunaga. His son is at our borders.
Meaning they've been at war with them for 2 years. Interesting. Can't wait to get more on that.
I'll come with you.
No. Protect Matsu. Stay quiet and safe. Trust me. Follow my instruction.
Yes, Chichue.
Wait for me. I will return.
I feel useless.
Waiting is not useless.
I shouldn't have taken no for an answer. I should be beside my father right now, fighting. He thinks I'm weak.
Why is this being framed as if Nagito is trying to shield Naoe from having to fight?
You have kept your bravery dark behind your eyes so your father does not see it. Enough hiding.
Enough hiding.
He is training her to fight, so it makes less sense for them to do the whole overprotective father shtick too.
To find something I have not seen in many years.
Now? I thought we were going to fight.
Trust me, my Naoe. Now is the perfect time.
In any case, they head off to retrieve Matsu's katana and over to the invasion site, where stealth is absolutely paramount.
They'll kill me if they see me.
Huh?
Well, 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 if it isn't the consequences of your own.
What did you think you were doing when you were training? What did you think you were doing fending off those poachers? What did you think was going to happen with that very real katana you now wield? Give them warning cuts?
Why is this happening? I begged Stewie for this. To fight just to kill? What have I done?
Having the protagonist grapple with lost life is actually something I like seeing, but Naoe is shocked to learn that blades do in fact kill people. Sneaking past more invaders, the stage is now set to fight back against Oda's forces.
Why have we stopped? What are you waiting for? Attack! Attack!
I don't think the music in this game is bad. It's actually good, but even then it doesn't fit the tone of what's happening. It's out of place, and it certainly won't be the last time it happens.
You disobeyed me.
She obeyed my orders. I asked her to defend Iga.
She is my daughter!
My Egan in Christ, you trained her. Did you not try and instill in her the values of community and defending the people from within?
I want to protect them.
The Iga way is shared responsibility, community, and benevolence. You will bestow that upon Matsu today. Any day she needs you, you will help her, or any of our neighbors. We had defense enough. Now I did not do as she was told.
You tell me to stay with Matsu, I stay with Matsu. Momochi-san you tells me to defend Iga, I defend Iga. I do what I am told. I have never done anything less.
Except, when you left Matsu's home to go and fight without Sunday's approval initially. That's explicitly not doing as you're told. I guess a lack of brains runs in the family. I know it's difficult to keep track of your own events, but I'm asking you to at least pretend like you give a shit. Nagato gets over it, Naoe gets her training montage, becomes a shinobi, and attends a ceremony to discuss the state of Iga.
Our traditions and our bonds cannot be abandoned. In uncertain times, we call upon you, the strongest among us.
Forgive my interruption, Norimasa.
A sudden visit from Hatari Hanzo prompts a warning of Nobunaga's invasion.
Lord Nobunaga will be here by nightfall with more soldiers than Iga has ever known. If you doubt me, go to Hijiyama Castle. You will find Kogan spies there awaiting Lord Nobunaga's signal.
And offers them protection for their surrender. There's some squabbling, and after confirming his warning was true, they invade the Kogan castle for Nobunaga's plans. Hanzo appears again to convince her to abandon Iga, seemingly having his own personal reasons for leaving Iga behind.
Nagato is a strong warrior, but so loyal to one tiny valley.
A valley you betrayed.
If a mistreated horse kicks off a rider who will not spare the whip, is that truly betrayal?
Please, please keep this one in mind. I promise the payoff will be glorious. This ends right on Nobunaga's invasion, catching us up to the start of the game.
Iga is under attack. Quickly, we must get to Sendai.
You run to your doom, Nagato. It is too late to be ready.
He comes.
There was no point in grabbing the plans if the invasion was quite literally around the corner. It just seems inconsequential. The flashbacks have their issues, sure, but it's alright in terms of setting the plot up. Can't wait to see how it all comes together.
You're awake.
With that out of the way, she wakes up once again to see an old monk and, that's why he looks familiar. It's the little fucker from Up. Well, how about that?
The wilderness must be explored! Go, go!
She learns from the monk Soren that she's recovering in an abandoned temple, and her father is composting outside Katano.
When you found me, is he
I am sorry.
We're then treated to a time-lapse scene where Monk and Boy take care of her, only she's just not moving, or eating, for several days. You almost had something there, game, but it's also important to animate all of the characters in the scene. Otherwise, it raises some questions. Unless there were catheters in the 1500s, she's going to need to be helped up. Or this is death number 3 that she somehow managed to avoid through luck. And we're barely even an hour in. The next time we see Nawe, she's at least sitting up this time, and ignoring children.
You... Never mind.
I believe it's time we freed our guest from her splint.
He's strange, Junjiro.
How could you determine that when you didn't even let him speak? What are you on about? Anyways, the monk tells her to treat Russell with kindness because he's lost more than she knows. Keep this in mind. This forces Nawe to actually be a human and do a complete 180 in how she treats Russell.
Is he afraid of me?
Should he be?
No. So long as he never poses a threat.
It must be exhausting, seeing enemies everywhere.
They are everywhere. Is that when he painted all those portraits?
I'll leave you to it.
Go on. I trust you.
Don't worry. I'm tougher than I look.
Really?
What's that supposed to mean?
They do some painting.
I don't paint like that anymore.
Sorin said you paint what you see. I'm sorry you had to see this.
They talk about her music.
Guess I'm not much of an artist, huh?
It just takes practice, like anything. And you understand that. You play music.
Why do you think that?
We found this. Where we found you.
Thank you for this. It has reminded me of something very important.
And Nawe gets her mending montage. It does work pretty well here, dare I say. Mostly. After getting back on her feet, the monk tries to persuade Nawe away from vengeance because it's bad, actually.
Vengeance is a lonely path, Nawe. Believe me, there are other ways to heal.
Nawe promptly ignores this. She goes back to the cabin with Russell and sees that her instrument has been repaired.
How?
It would seem Junjiro has a knack for mending things. With a little help, of course.
Can you play something, Nawe? Please?
And if you've somehow forgotten about that song that she needs to remember, you will be reminded once again. Nawe moves with a new resolve as she leaves the temple behind to get back to Tomiko. Once she makes it to the farm, her and Tomiko get reacquainted.
That night, the masked samurai. There are 11 more.
So there's more than one.
Many more.
I'm sorry. Did Nawe draw this? While bleeding out in the moonlight and after weeks of being bedridden, she remembers every detail of all 11 attackers, mask included, even capturing the specific sheen of a teppo.
The teppo? What are those etchings?
Gold, I think. Even in the moonlight alone, I could still see them. Never knew a teppo could shine like that.
Wow. How incredible. I guess that oral farming was really just striking a pose for Nawe specifically. Base Tomiko tells Nawe to kill them all because vengeance is awesome actually, as long as you have no loose ends. Along with her own personal stakes in all of this, she gives Nawe her farm to use as a base of operations to gather allies and go kill Bill on each mask fucker still out there. And before heading out, they get visitors.
Junjiro! Sorin!
Look, I know Monk knows where the farm is. He even tells Nawe how to get there.
You know the place?
I have lived in Setsu a very long time, young one. To reach the farm, head north following the winding path down the mountain.
But don't you guys think it would have been better to announce your presence? Also raises questions on how safe this hideout really is. Doesn't matter. Not like it gets brought up again. Don't think about it. Russell joins the gang despite any personal objections.
This isn't some temple hidden away in the mountains. It isn't safe here.
It isn't safe anywhere. But the boy wants to be with you.
Fine.
And with those seeds sown, Nawe leaves the farm to gather leads on the group that took her father from her. You know, despite my picking cherries, the story's just gotten started, and honestly, it's not bad. The setup is pretty much done, and surely it can only go up from here. But before we untangle that, might as well talk about the general gameplay. So let's break it down! Let's begin with some positives. Everybody loves those. The engraving system is fun. There are a good variety of unique perks that can be found and placed on gear. It isn't entirely a system that consists of stat increases by marginal percentages, and it allows for different ways to tackle encounters. I also like being able to keep engravings found to put on other weapons, which end up creating some builds that feel better to get through the game. They may be unbalanced, but they are good to use. The parkour is fine, and I like using the grappling hook to scale buildings quickly. The movement also feels good, barring a couple exceptions. Sound effects during combat sounds great. It feels satisfying to deflect a combo move. The outfits look good, and there are a wide range to choose from. The visual transmog is a nice touch. The game looks pretty stunning, and the inclusion of seasons give each place a nice overhaul. Can't say the same for the character models, but hey, we're still in the realm of positivity. The performance was solid as well, save for a couple of crashes. Assassinations are satisfying when they work like they're supposed to. Controls are responsive, and it never felt as if I wasn't in control. And then there's, looks like that's it. Let's talk about Nawe. As Nawe, there are 3 weapons she can use: the katana, Kushigama, and Tanto Blade. Each of these weapons have a light and heavy attack that can be chained together, and holding either button turns it into a posture attack that breaks an enemy's guard. Each of the weapons have abilities that can be unlocked in the skill tree with varying degrees of effectiveness. There are also 2 weapon slots to freely swap between your equipped weapons in case you need to change strategies, which, to be honest, I never felt like I had to. Enemy attacks can be deflected when they flash blue or white, and deflecting those attacks leaves an enemy vulnerable, leaving them stunned to take more damage. Blue attacks indicate a combo of attacks that would all need to be deflected to leave them vulnerable. Red attacks indicate a move that can't be blocked and must be dodged. A last second dodge will also leave an enemy vulnerable, but you can just easily spam dodge and stay out of the way. Nawe is described as a fighter that can take down enemies one at a time, but will have trouble fighting large groups due to her low health, which is why she's more tailored towards stealth, surveilling the scene and taking out enemies unnoticed, jumping across roofs and sneaking through wild grass. But there are many issues with how this works at its core. First off, the AI is not bright, and that's being incredibly generous. The detection is based heavily on having a line of sight on Nawe. If spotted, they will move to the location they saw you last. If they can't find you there, they'll linger around the area for a moment longer before giving up. Under normal circumstances, it's standard, but when the line of sight gets broken under the most ridiculous scenarios, the limitations become all too apparent. If I can lose an aggressive enemy just from circling a tree, something is wrong.
Come out and fight! I know you're out there!
And I know, you can say that I'm looking for something to complain about, that the AI can't be more intelligent, you'd never be able to lose them, or that maybe the AI changes with the difficulty. In combat and stealth, I am on the expert difficulties, and I'm going to read the setting for stealth. Enemies are more cautious and can detect you faster. Stay out of sight to stay undetected. Even roofs are not safe. Oh, okay.
Come out and fight! The threat, fight! You want this team?
You can't expect me to not find it egregious that enemies will not check roofs on the expert setting that gloats about how roofs are not safe, while I can lay down, get a tan, read a book, and take a nap without worrying about getting detected. Now let's try this with an older Assassin's Creed game, shall we? The AI is brain dead and less aggressive than they should be in most situations. They may check hiding spots or poke a bush, but their intelligence never expands beyond that. They won't slash bushes that will leave you with less space to hide. They'll spot and check dead bodies, but they'll never stay alert. You can carry bodies away, but leaving them out works out much better for baiting out others for a clean kill pile. And despite having vertical detection on expert, they can't even climb up to roofs and investigate if the player makes it up there to hide, something I at least remember being done before.
She is there!
They're lobotomized sentries that make stealth fun, but incredibly easy to pull off. There's no real challenge or consequence. Stab the guy only to get spotted? Just run around a few corners until they lose interest. Try to ambush a large enemy only to get denied? Just climb up on the roof and give it a minute. Went to shank a guy from the front and weren't fast enough? Just fight him head on. You'll have no issues dealing with him. I've got no problem with alert enemies being able to catch assassination attempts, but Shadow's level gating serves to muddy the waters, where those slightly higher than your level can't get assassinated because their necks are apparently too thick to penetrate. Look at this. I can't assassinate him because he has a much higher level, but I can attack him just fine. That, along with skills that allow you to take out larger enemies or enemies with more health, are locked behind several hours of grinding knowledge, and stealth starts to feel not worth doing early on. Guaranteed assassinations are an option that you can turn on, but that ends up invalidating their intended level gating and skill progression. In either scenario, it's a flaw in the game's design. And all of that aside, it's intended to be off by default. I'm playing strictly based on how they want people to play, and I have to ask, instant kill switch doesn't solve the other issues that stealth has. How long has Ubisoft been making open world games based on sneaking about or confronting groups of enemies, and yet the AI is still rudimentary? How long has the Assassin's Creed franchise gone on for? Based on how enemies respond to many elements in Shadows, you'd be forgiven for thinking it hasn't been long. For example, tools are items that only Naoe can use. At first, she has a set of kunais to toss at unsuspecting enemies for a silent kill. As long as it's a headshot, the kunais can be picked up again for reuse. But Ubisoft thinks adding bigger health bars to enemies is how to get people to use their skill trees to have kunais take out more health segments. Am I really getting punished for hitting a headshot with a kunai because the enemy has 3 more arbitrary health segments? I can understand the logic for assassinations. You can justify Naoe getting better at being an assassin, and taking out more people effectively takes time. But sharp kunais that she is shown to have more practice with doesn't make sense to me. And smoke bombs make an already easy endeavor even more trivial. Stuck in an encounter? Drop a smoke bomb, slash a couple throats, right as rain. Eagle Eye is overpowered, being able to not only tell where every threat is in a given area, but the ability to mark and keep track of those not normally visible renders caution mute and careful planning on the fly obsolete. I didn't end up using this a lot. Hell, I forgot this was even a feature. Either way, it's an insane ability that takes away from what stealth is. Even status effects feel overtuned. Poison takes chunks of enemy health away after a couple of strikes, and Daze prevents the enemy from landing attacks. Combine that with engravings you can place on your gear and now it can easily hold her own. The entire gameplay loop is either unnecessarily restricted or excessively easy, to the point where I barely used abilities and just fought everyone I came across. Enemy variety is limited and their movesets easily telegraphed. Doesn't help that they also attack one at a time like they're stuck in turn-based mode. They also stop themselves from committing to an attack most of the time. Being surrounded is a joke when you realize how strung together everything is. It's much easier to just take them all out and run past everything, instead of waiting around to pick them off. I know the game is called Assassin's Creed, but they shouldn't have made Assault Nawe much more appealing than Stealth Nawe. I would have gone Monk Nawe, but the game isn't made for unarmed combat on Expert, despite there being an engraving to make it more viable. It's a half-baked idea. If you truly aren't meant to use your fist, then why put an engraving in for it? Avowed did the same thing, which reads as a middle finger to those building towards an unarmed build. That's a whole other story, however, since their skill trees were also heavily favored towards magic than anything physical. Then again, some engravings and shadows are much better than others, but I'll get back to that eventually. The structure of shadows consists of a myriad of activities to engage in, the biggest of which are the castles all across the various regions of Japan. When they aren't being used in the main story, they have you infiltrate and eliminate the big boys inside to collect rare loot. Shrines and temples are also found throughout, which requires you to pray or search for pages in order to acquire knowledge points. Higher tiered skills are locked behind your knowledge level. Want to assassinate large enemies? Knowledge. Want to carry more tools? Knowledge. Want a new ability?
Knowledge.
And so on. And it makes me wonder why my proficiency in a weapon or skill set is tied to praying at a shrine or searching a temple or meditating, because those things don't meld logically. I would think using a specific weapon would carry with it the knowledge to use it better and in more interesting ways over time. It wouldn't be so bad if there were only a handful of these places to visit. Before playing Shadows, the only Assassin's Creed game I've ever played was Black Flag. I only played a few hours before dropping it entirely. The amount of points of interest in the collectibles combined with the world map turned me away from engaging in that experience. I add this to say that Shadows invokes the same disinterest I felt with Black Flag then, and I see the problem has only gotten worse since. The map is larger, and to make sure space isn't wasted, there are a plethora of shrines and temples and other assorted events scattered about. And this wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't required to unlock the opportunity to learn these skills. Because after wandering around the 20th temple and praying at the 4th altar of the 15th shrine, waiting through 10-second animations every time, I'd rather not waste more of my time just to get another tier of skills that I probably won't even use. I can only meditate for so long with a sequence that lasts 2 rotations too long just to earn a single knowledge point and repeat the process several times over. At least there were story segments at the end of these moments, but that only happens 4 times. After that, there's simply no point. Kofuns and paths to parkour are more engaging to do and offer just as many knowledge points. The only problem is that there aren't a lot of these activities to do, so you'd have to engage in the other activities if you want more skills. Monotony and tedium shouldn't be a replacement for longevity, especially if it's reliant on core systems that are never realized. Shadow seems to implement that in nearly every aspect of the experience. There are some interesting quests to be found that don't seem shoehorned in just to keep the player around longer, but past a few hours, they're far and few between. To be honest, while Shadows looks really good, I couldn't tell you the difference between one region and the next. Omi has that large lake, but aside from that, they all share the same landmarks. Waterfalls, bridges, open plains, it all blurs together. The only unique visual keeping everything feeling distinct is the season system that gradually moves across 4 seasons with 2 phases each. They help to keep the environment fresh, and I really would have no problem with it. Except for the cutscenes that indicate the season change every single time. About every 2 hours, and once you've finished a quest or changed characters, the game really wants you to see the same cutscenes in case you missed a complete visual overhaul somehow. Oh, what's that? You can skip these cutscenes? Yeah, when 2/3 of it have already played. I've tried to skip these earlier, but it doesn't let you. It doesn't want you to. It insists you see the same damn scene. They can't stop getting themselves off to how visually appealing they made things. And the cherry on top is the unending tutorial prompt that confirms to you yet again that the season has in fact changed. Ultimately, what really drove the knife in is all of the bloat and repetition Shadows is eager to shove down your throat. I could get through this game a whole lot sooner if it weren't for the constant tutorial prompts that appear, that you can't turn off by the way, cutscenes with no real relevance to any character or narratives that overstay their presence, missions with objectives that drag on for far too long. This is especially noticeable when targeting the main villains. Fucking outlaws respect your time more, a sentence that I can't believe I'm uttering. The scout system is just an objective marker with extra steps. They get really lazy with it too. She is a shrine maiden in Omi. She is in western mouth of Seta. Alright, those aren't bad clues. She is in Otsu Upper District. So, region, area, exact location? You just gave out the spot anyway. Stop wasting time and put down an objective marker. And don't let the fact that it's hidden fool you, especially when you can just observe your surroundings to find the objective anyways. It's busy work, not to immerse yourself in the world, but to pad out the runtime. And it's a philosophy that they can't have much faith in, considering you can just get a map pack that gives you all the locations of the activities and events. But at least it's offered for free, right? Fuck. You really feel the weight of an hour, and it's particularly grueling when there's nothing else that redeems that time lost. From the castles that look identical from hour 1 to hour 50, to the forgettable characters and the story that ties them all together. Speaking of, it's time to get back to that thing that they call a story. Back at the hideout, Nawe and Tomiko lay out potential leads to pursue the Shinbumafu. Tomiko also reveals that it's been months since the initial incident.
There's a man in Sakai rumored to have lost an ear some months ago.
Again, Nawe created this painting with insane accuracy months after bleeding out and recovering in that temple. They're really sticking to Nawe having pinpoint accuracy about each member. Let's hope they commit to that. From those leads, Nawe will hunt down 2 of the Shinbumafu, Teppo Lady and Evander Holyfield. And for the purposes of keeping these targets distinct, I will refer to them based on their one and only definable trait, because most of these targets are not actual characters. Chewing gum leaves more of a lasting impression than the antagonist supposedly tied to Nawe's drive as a character, disposable shitwits with no more purpose than the fucking eye toy. Before getting to that, we'll have to first follow the leads to get to the gunfucker. The search begins when Nawe overhears a conversation between a couple of gunsmiths with forged letters.
These letters are the key to the better life, brother. Access to Imai Sokyu himself. These forgeries could fool Lord Nobunaga. One bears his seal. Are you with the Imai? Don't be a fool. She's just some street thief who heard your childish cries.
And this is the start of Shadow's choice system, where occasionally decisions can be made in different scenes, and those decisions can result in unique events, or at least that's the idea. So let's explore this dynamic mechanic for all it's worth. Approaching the 2 men, a set of initial decisions appear after Nawe tries to pass herself off as part of the Imai.
We all work for the Imai, do we not? Everyone in Sakai knows that.
You don't look or sound like you from Sakai.
Don't be stupid. Not everyone who works for them was born here.
Who is your conducting house Imai? Sokyu's son? Or his daughter?
Getting caught in a lie causes the men to want to extort payment from you in exchange for the papers.
Imai Sokyu has no daughter. You lie. If you want them so bad, you could pay us 500 mon.
I was approached by his son.
I have heard Sokun uses people like her. Dangerous people.
If you want them so bad, you could pay us 500 mon.
Alright, that tracks. What about the other choices? Well, now we can also brush past it, and it seems to work.
Imai Sokyu won't need to hear about this if you give me what I want.
Asachiro, just give her the papers. I don't want to risk her.
And that's why you will never prosper. You don't take risks.
Say the line!
If you want them so bad, you could pay us 500 mon.
From this point, if you escalate, they run away, and then you're forced to kill them during a chase, where the men just stop running and wait for you to get closer before making their escape.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Kinda defeats the purpose of a chase, but that's not important. Let's get to the other choice. Surely that's different. When Nawe pays the men for the papers, they decide it's just not enough to ask for more, but to put a bounty on her head.
If you offer that so easily, you must have more. 200 mon! To the one who killed this thief!
Where no one else shows up to try and claim it despite the loud, awkward declaration. And of course, you're forced to kill them. So let's see. 3 choices that result in the same outcome and no way to actually settle the issue amicably. You know what? I'll cut them some slack. This is the first choice you can make, and I'm sure there are other choices in the narrative that have impact and weight. With papers in hand, she meets up with Sokun to learn more about Tea and Teppo.
An order of Tanegashima Teppo. This bears the seal of Lord Nobunaga. You do know my father is his tea master?
Of course.
And that my father supplies Teppo for Lord Nobunaga's army. I have business in town. Walk with me, and we'll take the measure of each other.
You do not respect your father?
I do. It takes a smart man to rise as high as he. A hard man.
You and your father know Lord Nobunaga personally?
He is Lord Nobunaga's tea master. My father owes much of his fortune and influence to him. In return, we advocate for Lord Nobunaga in... Advocate for Lord Nobunaga in...
You violated the law!
Yeah!
Don't mind me, just plucking more cherries. They make it to Sokun's office.
This is my office.
Where Naoe suddenly makes her intentions clear with convincing delivery.
I'd rather you invite me for tea. I hear those ceremonies can open doors.
My father serves tea to the most powerful in the land. Why would he sit down with you?
With the approval of House Imai, I'll bring in bigger, better contracts. To our mutual profit.
Despite that initial hurdle, Naoe convinces Sokun to meet with his father Sokyu at his tea ceremony and gather women who are into teppos on such short notice.
I'd like to meet merchants of that sort, or even other women with an interest there.
A gathering of women with an interest in teppo? That's worth proposing just to see his reaction.
How serendipitous. Naoe has to play and look the part for the tea ceremony, so she finds a merchant who can make a kasore quickly. Oh no, she needs silk and it's been taken by pirates. Naoe can take the silk back from the pirates or give her some silk herself. Or at least that's what the choices would boil down to if they actually accounted for a player having more than enough silk in their inventory to give to the woman and bypass that scenario. You know, in what they claim to be a fucking RPG. Oh well, the only real choice is to kill some pirates and bring back the stolen silk. She also finds someone willing to teach her proper tea etiquette, and with that can attend the tea ceremony in style. I'm sorry, I didn't think she'd still be half naked. Let me Naoe can now attend the tea ceremony in style and meet with the women who showed up to attend. And good lord is it stilted to hell.
You must be new to Sakai. You haven't caught up with our fashion.
I am not so interested in decoration, unless it involves ornamented teppo.
That much is clear. Go back to your farm before you get hurt.
I was unaware they allowed children at these ceremonies.
We are partners in business.
Forgive me.
What a beautiful kosode. I love the trim. You wouldn't mind if I steal it from you?
I've only recently arrived, but I would love to learn more about one so famous.
You have good instincts. Trust them.
So we have the mean girl, the brash girl, and the polite normal girl. I wonder which one is the culprit. It really doesn't help that Naoe just infers these new characteristics on each woman because how would the player know otherwise? Through dialogue?
This one possesses a noble grace I didn't sense in the killer that night. I can see Otama committing murder on a moonlit night. Wakasa and I are more alike than these others. She fought for her place here. But that path couldn't have been easy or clean.
Naoe ends up approaching Wakasa and heading to her home to take her out.
Why did you choose Sakai? Were you looking for something?
I will explain myself, but do feel free to look around.
The gunfucker decides to spill her plans to Naoe, announcing her desire to take over the teppo trade in Sakai, no matter the cost.
Once I control the teppo trade in Sakai, I will begin to assemble my fleet. Traders, smugglers, even pirates will answer my call. We'd form the greatest trading fleet to ever set sail and rule the markets. By trade or by bread.
That's it. She wants power and hopes to convince Naoe to help her achieve that goal.
Lord Nobunaga is not the first daimyo to desire this city. Sokyu is his man now, but there will be other warlords after him, and other tea masters. And Sakai will remain Sakai. To make this happen, I'd need men and women of vision, not afraid to bloody their hands for a better life. Will you come on board with me? Would you like to be my queen of the sea?
God, that acting. Jesus. Anyways, Naoe drops the act and confronts Gunfucker, who fails to bargain for her life.
That's not a toy.
I know. It's a coward's weapon.
Ah, that was the feeling I couldn't place. It's you from that night. So will you gun me down like a coward?
At first she appears defiant despite having a weapon aimed at her, and later grows more desperate. With the voice acting alone though, it's not like you could tell.
I have a better idea. Why don't you tell me what will make this right between us? And I'll get it for you.
You think I would bargain with my father's murderer?
You are in the strongest position. You offer life, I will trade anything for that.
I want the box you took from me that night.
Ah, the box. Well, it isn't here, but I can take you to it.
No, you'll tell me where it is.
I do that, you'll have no reason to let me live.
So you won't tell me where it is?
No.
Then you're of no use to me at all.
Do you think...
What'd you bring me?
Wow, that was awful. It doesn't feel like we've progressed much in recovering that box. In fact, I feel if Wakasa was really desperate to save her life, she would just lie to Naue. Tell her where the box isn't, and if that still isn't enough to dissuade her, actually bargain using the rest of the Shimbumafu's identities. You know, something like, if you kill me now, you won't know who the rest of the Onryo are. Spare me and recover the box, and I'll tell you what you need to know. Would most likely be effective. I guess you really didn't care about your life that much. Whatever, 1 down, 10 to go. Next up is the wounded, aka Earfucker. Naue follows a lead that leads her into a temple where a group of monks are clashing with his men.
I didn't think anyone would come.
You expected reinforcements?
Only half-heartedly. When my father called for aid, thousands would come.
That's what she said!
Kyono wants to fight back against Nobunaga's reign and, like Naue, has seen his home destroyed and wants revenge. We also meet Yaya. You know Yaya. She's around. She wants to help Kyono, but hates his methods.
Kyono! We could have used him!
What? Koretake's worms would rather die than talk.
Which I'll have to delve into why this doesn't work soon enough. For the time being, they need allies, and Naue goes out to convince them to join the cause.
Mitsumune.
No.
Unfortunately, Naue needs to retrieve a statue back for Sad Monk in order to recruit him, which just feels like busy work to pad out the main quest, but they're not that shameless to do something like that throughout the game. She ties up loose ends and meets back up with Kyono and Yaya to take down Earfucker. Yaya expresses disdain for the way the rest of the group is going about this.
Wada Koretake is at Amagasaki Castle.
And what about Mitsumune?
His people are exhausted and hungry, but they will fight.
You may as well sacrifice them. There must be a peaceful solution.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a peaceful solution for the guys who are currently killing your men and toppling your temples.
When Oda Nobunaga took over, he put one of his most savage dogs in charge. Wada Koretake, immoral to his core. He pillages, destroys our relics, burns our temples. The only evidence he leaves behind are corpses. Burned, beheaded, or both.
According to Yaya, it's better to let Earfucker kill them on their home turf than killing Earfucker on his own turf, because surely he can be reasoned with. It's this half-hearted ideal of vengeance being bad, actually, because it can only lead to ruin that just doesn't apply to the villains. Kyono fights to preserve history, to save his people and to oppose the way Nobunaga rules. Is it bad because he's angry about it? Yaya doesn't even have a real argument. She sits there to lecture but won't actually defend her position. She's just here to make sure no one gets hurt, I guess. But she barely tries to dissuade anyone from their path.
Not another corrupted for Kyono's hopeless cause.
My father always said that as long as we are breathing, there is hope.
See? Someone believes in me.
You both seem steadfast on your path of destruction. I heard one of Koretake's men speak of the chief executioner, Nanatsuma.
She's only around to create a moral dilemma they don't earn. You'll really feel bad if you hurt the people who do bad things to good people is not even close to a compelling counter. It's quite shit. Once everyone is accounted for, the raid party assembles to take Earfucker down.
Oda Nobunaga has brought us to the edge of extinction. Wada Koretake threatens to push us over!
They really thought this was cool. No one thought this looked off in any way. No one thought this perspective needed more work. Is there anyone at Ubisoft currently capable of saying the word no? It looks like a shitty green screen effect. Are they running off with a bridge? How is this not fucking embarrassing? The point is that they've broken into the castle and Naue has a clear path to take out Earfucker. And she does so easily. Because all of these bosses have the health pools of regular enemies. They have the same movesets as regular enemies. The only thing unique about them is their character character model, and the fact that they can be taken down so quickly means they can't make a lasting impression on the player. It's pretty anticlimactic, and the dialogue is god-awful too.
Mistake. I won't repeat.
Yeah, no shit you should have finished the job. I think you're taking too much inspiration from other sources. But I guess it isn't your fault. All the brain matter leaked out of your ear hole, so you couldn't make any smart decisions.
Where is the box? Where? You cut open my father to die in pain!
It's what you and your kind deserve.
You're not working very hard to get information about the box. I understand the whole vengeance thing, but you can do both, you know? Oh well. There's 9 of them left, one of them will spill the beans. Let's get back to what really matters.
Wait! Stop!
Stop? Is the game going to act like something morally reprehensible is happening here? In fact, how is this different from what you've done, Naue? You haven't offered any sort of mercy to those that aren't your targets. By the way, if she ends up confronting Otana instead of Gunfucker, she ends up killing her. What's the real difference here?
Stay away from me! I'm doing what I should have done when I first saw you! I make good on my threats.
Why are you doing this? I don't know you.
I know your secrets.
I never met you before tonight.
You're lying!
And then justifies it by stating that she was corrupt anyways.
She wasn't the killer I was after. These letters confirm that. But she was as corrupt as a daimyo. Damn it! Wakasa tricked me. She said she'd be
Where did you come from? I thought you wanted to keep an eye on Mitsumune.
I will not go to war for you. I will go to make sure you don't get Mitsumune killed.
Busy raiding the rations instead of the castle.
This is for every soul Oda Nobunaga burned alive after they surrendered and were promised peace.
No! This is Oda Nobunaga's way, not ours.
Tell them these men don't deserve to live.
The game will now present another choice. This time it will impact Yaya. Yeah, okay. Let's go with what Naue would obviously pick given her track record.
Mitsumune is right. Anyone fighting for Oda Nobunaga deserves death.
Anyone fighting for Nobunaga, you say? I will keep that one in mind. Yaya decides that everyone except her are awful people, despite choosing to stay with Kyono when he did the same thing.
You are fools! I fought to keep Mitsumune safe, but he is beyond saving. You all are. This is your doing.
We have to presume that this man is innocent or not a part of the fight, because if he was, which is more than likely given how both sides were engaged, then this scene would not be effective. But at least they continue to show that Yaya would not take or agree to any action that would put an innocent or otherwise non-combative person in harm's way. You already see where I'm going with this.
Let these men go.
You said you were ready for blood. The veins of my people opened for you. I hope it was worth it.
What? What the fuck? Why is he talking to Naue like she didn't just personally approve of the execution his men just committed? Do these twits not remember what occurred 27 seconds ago? Do choices matter or not? Because the other choice changes absolutely nothing except making a couple of characters even more hypocritical than they would be otherwise.
The fight is over, Mitsumune. Killing these men accomplishes nothing.
I did it. Wakasa is dead. And I am one step closer to avenging my father.
And every day since, I have thought of only one thing. Making you suffer. Killing these men accomplishes nothing.
These men deserve forgiveness, as we all do.
Acting like moral arbiters who can selectively determine who deserves forgiveness.
What, we gotta forgive everybody when they show up and piss in our eye? They came into our house, Somebody shoots your brother. You want to take the locks off your doors? Grow up!
Apparently, none of the Shimbumafu deserve it. But what if that guy killed someone important to Mitsumune? How do they know he hadn't? How do they know he hasn't taken part in the atrocities that Earfucker committed? Would they still demand he needs to be forgiven? Would they still be singing that tune because it doesn't personally affect them? It's horseshit and they know it. After the dust settles, Nawe and Kiyono have a little heart-to-heart. And you tell me if this sounds like a man who's been corrupted by vengeance.
These men are dead because of me.
No, because of Oda Nobunaga.
Maybe this fight should be my own.
One of my duties as abbot is to entrust our sacred artifacts to those who need them most. Shinran gave hope to thousands upon thousands. Despite what you feel now, Nawe, we are still breathing. There is still hope. That is what fills the emptiness.
I am here for a different matter of injustice. I hunt my father's murderers.
Vengeance is a bloody path with no horizon. I know this firsthand.
Nawe, on the other hand, feels conflicted about vengeance now, but only because she got people killed. None of this is hinted at when killing Gunfucker, which would make this development more confusing if this target was handled first. She swaps between either vengeance being fulfilling or leaving her more displaced, and it could be interesting if they didn't do this throughout the entire game, because they can't decide if vengeance is productive or destructive. Despite it being a central theme of the game and the core of the narrative, chasing targets that have, in one way or the other, taken something from the protagonist, they don't know whether I'm supposed to find this satisfying or empty, but I'm getting ahead of myself. In any case, the takeaway from Nawe in this instance is that she shouldn't bring anyone in for this quest of hers. The fight is her own and she will handle it on her own. This doesn't last long. Before we get to that, we absolutely have to conclude Yaya's story, because we all love Yaya, obviously. She's currently dealing with a group of monks who've turned away from their faith and have stolen some valuables. Throughout this little ally quest, Yaya remains stalwart in her belief that forgiveness will pave the path forward, and even though someone can stray into depravity, they can still be saved with a bit of patience. Even lecturing Nawe for her previous decision to show that her belief system is pretty consistent. And then she hears of a monk who followed her that stole the hairpin her deceased husband owned.
One of the thieves left your quarters with your hairpin fastened to his robe.
My husband's kanzashi.
That kanzashi meant something to you?
It belonged to my husband. One of the only things I had left that touched him, that felt like him in my hands. When grief has no home, it will turn to anger.
And things take a sharp turn.
Tetsuo knows what that hairpin means to me.
Who is he?
I was his spiritual guide. He lost his parents before he could stand. But then, when my husband died, I needed time. I left Tetsuo and joined Kyonyo at Honganji. I heard the boy never smiled again.
He must have missed you.
I can't be responsible for him. I did my part. I taught him everything he needed to know. And this is how he repays me?
Nawe finds Tatsuo and, ew, that's just lazy. They really teleported him outside of the room. What the Nawe finds Tetsuo and a chase ensues. Man, that's so weird how I can't catch him despite being right on him. It's almost like...
I taught you humility, respect, and you stole from us? From me?
You left me. You were my guide. When you left, I lost my way.
So you become a thief?
Yaya, stop.
You have something to say?
Man, Yaya is really getting angry. Aggressive, even. It's almost as if when something personally affects her, forgiveness goes out the window. It's almost as if she doesn't have the right to make sweeping judgments on anyone's morals. Not like the game will acknowledge that. They will have Nawe tell Yaya to stand down, even if all of her choices lean toward punishment and vengeance.
You and Tetsuo both played a part in this. He's safe and you have the pin. That's all that matters.
How quickly my anger has taken a hold of me.
Bitch, then you would understand exactly how Kiyono and Mitsumune would feel instead of condemning them. Not to mention that this little bout of anger comes out of nowhere. It's not built up, nor is it explored properly, and resolved near instantly. If this was supposed to make me care for Yaya more, if this was meant to delve deeper into Yaya's character and her insecurities, they did a piss poor job. And then the game presents an opportunity to recruit her in your ranks. What was that thing Nawe said earlier?
Maybe this fight should be my own.
Oh yeah. that. Well, I gotta keep her as honest as I can, so off you go. Despite Naoe's declaration of making the fight her own, she tried to bring Yaya back into her fold of vengeance. Well, it's a good thing she won't be doing any of that anytime soon.
Lord Akechi Mitsuhide wants to speak to you.
Lord Mitsuhide?
Oda Nobunaga's most powerful daimyo. More like his dog.
I've seen how he resents his master. It could make him a powerful ally.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So her brilliant idea is to meet up with Matsuhide. He knows about her hunting of the Shimbumafu and wants to meet at Katano, where she took the box from Boxfucker. Russell's big mad about this for some reason and runs off, but who cares about the Lollipop Guild? We've got a meeting to attend. This can only go well. What an incredible start. What happened to wanting to see what he wants? You scoped out the place and thought threatening to kill him was a solid bargaining chip? You just said he had no intention of killing you.
We need to be smart about this.
If Lord Mitsuhide wanted us dead, he would send soldiers, not a message.
This is a solid first impression.
There will be no need for that. You are skillful, as I thought you would be.
Sure, let's set her up to be cautious and then immediately drink out of a potentially tampered with cup. Please figure out what you want Naoe to be, you malnourished mutants. Mitsuhide brings up a straightforward proposal. Oda Nobunaga must die, and Naoe brings up an interesting point for once.
He has sent all his generals away. He remains at Honoji, serving tea, unprotected.
If that is true, you have an army. You don't need me.
Why does he need her? He can do this himself with his resources, but apparently he can't get to him without him escaping, which is where Naoe's infiltration comes in.
Why should I trust you?
Another good question. A basic one, sure, but hey, at least she's being wary. Well, forget about the whole tea thing, but yes, more of this, please. Mitsuhide tells Naoe that he also is hunting the Shimbumafu. He's noticed Naoe's work and seen that she has taken down 3 of them, and so he reveals some enticing info.
Lord Nobunaga is their leader. It is he who ordered your father's death.
That's not possible.
I did not believe it either, until I found this.
He presents a mask to Naoe, the same one that the leader was wearing that very night. But that just leaves me with a question, a major one. How did he get that mask? If his words are to be believed and that is Nobunaga's mask, that would be an item that Nobunaga holds close to him, or at the very least guards heavily considering it is his secret identity. Mitsuhide is one of his right-hand men, but that doesn't excuse how he'd be able to take that without Nobunaga noticing. Because of course, if he was planning on doing Shimbumafu shenanigans and couldn't find that mask, there'd be hell to pay. It's almost as if he's the twist villain or something. So Naoe, want to ask the big question? Keep the streak alive? Redeem your character? I said with the tea, just fucking swing for the fences.
What do you get from this?
Alright, she buys it. Hook, line, and sinker. What a intelligent character. I'm really rooting for her to complete her vengeance. I'm so gripped.
Go now. There is much to do.
The plan requires them to pull off a Trojan horse by retrieving documents to convince Nobunaga's guards to let a cart pass that she will of course be in.
Oda Nobunaga took everything I loved. He will not escape.
If we are to succeed, you must not fail. Go!
Thank you for that inspiring line into battle. In order to win, just don't lose. Riveting.
Hold! What is this?
Why the fuck are you peeking out of the cart, you dopey shart? Shinobi in training, shown to be silent and stealthy, allowing her face to be shown in view of anyone who might observe the cart. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wait! What is this?
And look, the cart is already looking suspicious, at least to Yasuke.
These sacks are old. Rats might have eaten through them. Make sure the rice is checked.
You'd think he checked the sacks if he was concerned about their quality. Or better yet, you'd think they all would take a glance inside to find the 80-pound woman rolling in them. But nah, they let it through without checking, which is so incredibly convenient. You think they would have as guards under the literal shogun of Japan, but then we couldn't have what they consider peak. One epic infiltration later, and then the moment we've been waiting for arrives. How did you not see her? Hell, I can see her. Hell, you were looking right at her. They're really taking this light and shadows mechanic to an absurd degree because she's not obscured in any sense. It also makes me wonder how no one else in that scene didn't notice her either. This proves that Naoe was right earlier and that Mitsuhide didn't even need her because Nobunaga never even tried to escape. He just stands around. Anyone could have taken him. As Nobunaga waits around, he takes a bit too long to track the source of the noise. Naoe's motif, by the way. And then we're treated to something great.
Who are you?
I am Iga.
Oh boy, that was supposed to be intimidation, not constipation. What an interesting delivery. At least the boss fight's good. His moveset never evolves, he can be evaded easily, his health pool's a joke, and the music, good God, the music.
You have been taught well.
Let me show you how well!
The track is fine, but it does not fit in this fight. It doesn't fit in this game even. What is this? And to top it all off, this is a man who I assume has been a fighter for decades. He's risen to the top, he's even trained Yasuke, and that boy is built up to be a force of nature. But Naoe, with only 2 years of proper training, can effortlessly take Nobunaga down. You're already stretching the believability of the other targets, but for Nobunaga, he should probably put up more of a fight than just the same combo other sword enemies use regularly. The problem is that he fights like a regular grunt when he absolutely shouldn't. But oh well, he's down in less than a minute.
I will kill you too.
You will try.
Man, that protagonist buff is paying dividends. She managed to land a hit on Yasuke, Nobunaga's one-man army, single-handedly led the charge to raise your village and swatted away Egans like mosquitoes. But he can't get shown up now anyways because he's also a protagonist.
The blade. It is you. Kill her. Now. I cannot.
There are a few things wrong with this. The biggest one being how Yasuke, characterized as someone who has become loyal to Nobunaga, denying his order to kill Naoe. Yeah, sure, he noticed the blade and this somehow made him less aggressive. But considering how Nobunaga took him in and changed his life, he should be much more conflicted here. And Nobunaga just lets this happen. He doesn't question Yasuke and his heel turn. This man has just defied a direct order from you, probably for the first time. He's sparing your attacker and you're not thinking about how Yasuke might be in on this too? You're just cool with this? I highly fucking doubt that.
You took the box. You and the Shinbakufu. Give it to me!
I know nothing of what you are saying.
You were there. You gave the order to kill my father!
Whatever Mitsuhide told you, he has lied. He has deceived us all.
No! You are the liar! You killed my family!
Naoe seems pretty impassioned here and very certain that Nobunaga is Shinbunbafu, that he has the box. I wonder what Nobunaga will do to convince her otherwise.
I have killed many people. I did it to make us strong. One shining sword under heaven, with a single destiny. Not for this Shinbakufu. For the country!
You slaughtered innocents!
Such a blade cannot be forged without fire. I did what had to be done. Clans squabble like children. Wait for a chance to conquer us. I did it to unite us. There was no other way.
So he gives her an elevator pitch on how he's really just uniting the country. Under his rule, he wants unification above all else. And this works. He offers no real evidence that he isn't who she claims he is. He doesn't even deny that he had a hand in destroying Iga, because he just wanted to unite Japan, and really all of those innocent people were just the price to pay for such a lofty goal. This somehow convinces Naoe to back off. Because she has no real conviction, she somehow thinks this makes him not a target, despite his actions leading to her father's death and the uprooting of her life. It's really fucking stupid. Abysmally fucking stupid. She takes her leave and Nobunaga has decided that he's got his ass kicked so hard, the mere shame of it all has made him want to kill himself.
You must not get my head. You understand? Please. Yasuke. It is over.
I mean, he could probably escape, but suicide is badass.
You saved me. I will never forget you, my friend.
And there's additional confirmation that Yasuke is loyal to Nobunaga, even considers him his friend. Completely ignoring letting his attacker escape, they want you to know that Yasuke is grateful to Nobunaga. He will show him honor beyond his death. I wonder just how much his kindness will be rewarded in the future.
Is there anything at all that one's given life does not perish?
Anyways, Nobunaga's dead, and Mitsuhide is face to face with Yasuke, someone he knows is entirely loyal to Nobunaga. Likewise, Yasuke knows Mitsuhide is a traitor and has effectively killed Nobunaga with his actions. And knowing how Mitsuhide should now know that Naoe realizes she's been played and how leaving her alive has led to bigger problems for his group, so much so that he had to pretend to not be involved, he will leave Yasuke alive.
The Brack soldier is not one of us. Take him, priest. Send him back to wherever he belongs.
Despite having the numbers to take him on, he will prefer to banish him because he definitely will not stay in Japan any longer.
You know that I am not going anywhere.
He definitely won't seek revenge. He is very smart. Back at the hideout, Naoe now has to contend with the fact that, because she's mentally deficient, was played by Mitsuhide.
Oda Nobunaga's dead. Honnoji is in flames.
This news is good.
A brutal tyrant dead and an Onryo struck from your list.
No. It wasn't Oda Nobunaga behind the mask. It was Lord Mitsuhide.
Oda Nobunaga was a murderer and a beast. He deserved whatever death came for him.
Base Tomiko is so right. Why am I meant to feel bad for Nobunaga when the narrative has shown time and time again that he's ruined lives in his pursuit for unity?
Can you feel the breeze, Yasuke? It fans the total destruction of Iga. A most perfect night.
That is only a mask for his own brand of tyranny. Because he isn't Shin Bumbafu, that excuses all the other shit he's done? Naoe is torn about this.
Don't you understand? I was wrong. I chose wrong. I was lied to and manipulated, and now I'm left with nothing.
Until Tomiko tells her to just keep killing.
Then you kill them. Kill them all. We will set things right.
And this works. It's really funny. Mitsuhide has an army. I can't do anything. Yes, you can. Just kill him, lol. Oh, okay. Also, I guess Russell ran away and didn't come back. And so lies another choice. Which again, ultimately doesn't fucking matter. Both options leave you in the same place. Back to Kitano, where Russell is just chilling. Somehow he got past Mitsuhide's soldiers who were just chilling here before. Past bandits who litter the roads. He's just here because, well, we'll find out. But before you can think about that... Soldiers under Mitsuhide's command, who are just re-invading the castle? Did they notice Naoe come in? How do they know she's here? Look at the distance they're at. No one is seeing her or Russell through that window. Naoe can't escape because Russell is being, you guessed it, a little shit. And just wants to die, I guess? What the fuck is he so angry for? Doesn't matter, because their savior has inexplicably arrived. Yasuke. How did he know they were here? How did he know this is where Mitsuhide's men would go? What the fuck ever, man? This is cool, isn't it cool? They want you to forget about all the details and focus on how badass he is.
One more step, stranger, and you die!
Why did they? They should know that their guns...
Shoot him!
Don't fucking shoot in the rain! I'm going to have a stroke. I'm going to be buried among the shadows. Were these soldiers trained yesterday? They'd know how this works. Also, I guess cutscene rain is better than in-game rain because those temples work fine when it's raining there. So, shocker, they're not consistent on this either. Yasuke easily cuts through the soldiers and makes it to Naoe. And I have to say that this end to Act 1 really ties all of the stool together. Please be prepared for some truly baffling revelations. With no lore to guide him, Yasuke has decided to pledge loyalty to this chick, claiming that she's part of something bigger, something he needs to see through, and so to gain her trust, he decides to tell her what happened at Iga.
My one-man army.
After bursting through the gate, Nobunaga and his crew get to their person of interest, Mochi Sunday.
The best of the failed rebellion for last.
An entire and its people vanquished for the folly of his son?
For the good of our country. For the ambition of his father.
Duel me!
No. duels belong in the old world. The old world is dead.
Nobunaga is ready to straight up execute him, but Yasuke has a different idea.
Allow me to duel him.
He is a formidable warrior.
And so deserving of a warrior's death.
But why? Why does he care about this guy over everyone else that he's run through that night? Because he's an honorable samurai, right? Sure. Regardless, this works.
What keeps your loyalty? See him for what he is?
He has shown me another side.
Impossible!
This looks like it would definitely kill him, but he takes no damage. It's really awkward. If you can't handle cinematic animations, maybe just don't attempt them. Yasuke beats Mochi, who glazes him on his deathbed.
You are special, samurai. Not for your skin, for your skill. Your daimyo does not deserve your greatness. I have one more trick, but not the strength to use it.
He pulls out his hidden blade, which evokes a strong response from Yasuke.
Where did you get that, Sandayu? Tell me!
It's a good thing honor is so important to Yasuke that he was then able to get this information, which ultimately helps with his goals. I hope we can get more on that. Sunday tells him to help the girl with the same blade before melting away. This surprisingly doesn't convince Naoe to not kill him, because why the fuck would it?
You killed my neighbors, my friends, everyone I ever knew and loved. And now you beg forgiveness?
If only Yasuke had some other information that would otherwise convince her to spare him, like if he revealed seeing a blade like hers a while ago as it's clearly hinted at here. Oh well, we hardly knew ye.
I'm going to stick your head on an Egan spear. So until the crows take your eyes, you can see the pain you've left in your wake.
Stop!
Oh, fuck off, Russell. Stop disassociating long enough to start being annoying.
Stay out of it, Junjiro.
No, you don't understand.
He killed Egans, my family. He's a monster.
Then you're a monster too!
Get ready for some stellar delivery that will put Stellar Blade to shame. We're going to listen to the whole thing, so get comfortable.
I tried to stop you from coming here. I begged you, but you wouldn't listen. And I knew you'd find out if I didn't do something. Hide things. Or burn things.
Junjiro.
You're the only one I have left. I couldn't let you find out. So I came here. I came back. But I wasn't strong enough. I still miss him. My Chichue. When we first found him, I didn't believe it. But then, when I realized it was you, it turned real. Soren wanted me to be kind to you. He said we should show you mercy. Even when I didn't want to. I thought you were a demon, a monster. But Soren taught me. Showed me other ways to let the hate out. And slowly, he started looking like something else. A person, a friend, family. He saved us. He did bad things, but so did you. So if you kill him now, then you have to hand the katana to me next. I'll do it. I'll really do it.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I spotted several big mistakes.
Now that we have absorbed the Darman quality acting, I do need to go back and break everything down. Because Ubisoft, in their infinite wisdom, in their attempt to tie an emotional moment with the clearly adult-sounding kid, will skip past a very important revelation in the hopes that you don't connect the pieces. Russell's dad was Shimbumafu, the same member that cracked Naoe's cheeks. Hey, not like that. The point I'm making is that they are framing Naoe's murder of this guy as bad, despite all of the other extenuating circumstances, despite being forced to fight him because he clearly was not willing to talk it out.
Give me the box and I'll go.
This is supposed to make Naoe open her eyes to how vengeance affects others because she killed a father that left a child behind just like her, and it simply sucks ass. You didn't earn this. You think creating a shortcut to this moment lets you reap the rewards? I don't give a fuck about Russell because there is no moment where I can connect with Russell before this. He has nothing to do at the hideout, no extra quests, no additional dialogue that fleshes him out as a character I want to see more of. And you have him facilitate the worst scenarios on top of that. He was mad that Naoe had to at some point return to Katano because he didn't want her to discover the truth of what she did, that she killed his father. That would have killed her, mind you. So his response to knowing that Naoe would be there was to run away to the same spot and camp in a castle in a catatonic state. To hide evidence of what she's done? What are you burning, his fucking wallet? What exactly would she have seen to connect the dots? And when exactly would you have done that? Mitsuhide and his men would have been inside the castle, and they fucking obviously would have moved the body. The only opening would have been during the assassination of Nobunaga, and by then it would have been too late. They play fast and loose with how much time actually passes between missions to the point where any scenario Russell would have made it here wouldn't work. It makes no sense. And to remain there knowing soldiers were sent to kill Naoe and whoever else might be inside. He would have killed them both if Samurai blacked in and forced his way through. And I'm supposed to be sympathetic of this stupid imp? They really thought they nailed it. I'm still pissed off about this. Because the takeaway is that good people do bad things, and those bad things aren't a complete condemnation of one's character, an extension of Yaya's bullshit. They will no longer acknowledge the harm Boxfucker did to Naoe, to Iga even. Yeah, morality isn't black and white, but let's not pretend that just because he's a father that he wasn't actively doing bad shit. Stop taking notes from other insipid, shallow, morally bankrupt, pisswater media because it's clear Ubisoft doesn't have the capacity to create any narrative with depth and intrigue. Why does Russell even care about Yasuke, whether he lives or dies? He'd clearly know that Naoe has been killing people who would, by his definition, also deserve forgiveness. Is it different because this guy is a protagonist too? Of course, because if Russell didn't run away, Yasuke would still make it here, and Naoe would have killed him. So if Naoe didn't have that conversation with Tomiko, if Russell was outside, if Naoe lied to him, God forbid, and said she wasn't going to Katano to ease his mind, he's fucked. So, you know, incredibly lucky circumstances we have here beyond the luck gained to even create this scenario. This one scene can qualify as a textbook example of terrible writing. Aside from all of that, there is something I feel needs mentioning. The fact that this is supposed to be Naoe's first kill that she regrets, in theory. But the issue with that is how Ubisoft decided to handle enemies in castles. There was one specific part of stealth that I didn't mention earlier. Servants can be found throughout castles, often cleaning and tending to exteriors. If Naoe gets spotted by one, they will not fight back. Instead, they find the nearest guard to alert them of an intruder. Now, hiding and waiting is usually fine, but if someone wanted to chase after a servant, the only thing they can do is... yeah, murder them. Assassinate them in cold blood. To ensure their silence, this is something that must be done. And before you tap the "you control the buttons you press" sign, they didn't have to add this type of NPC. They didn't have to have the option to have Naoe kill them. But they never thought hard about including something like this because they could never account for something like this bleeding into the narrative and the character. Naoe will never reflect on killing innocent lives. She will never question why she had to do that, and she sure as hell will never feel guilty about taking the lives of other parents. And if you think this is only an Act 1 issue, think again. Servants are found throughout the entire length of the game. It will not matter what journey Naoe goes through or what lessons she learns, when she can always slit the throats of unarmed civilians attempting to disengage. Now that I mentioned it, I thought killing civilians was frowned upon in the Animus, so much so that I would get kicked out for doing so. But I guess within the castle walls, killing civvies is a-okay. I'm learning a lot about morality in this video. The narrative allowed guilt trip allows Naoe to spare Yasuke, and from there the two decide to work together and see where the wind takes them. They head back to the hideout where Tomiko eyes their new ally.
This is Yasuke.
Oh.
Man, that's awkward. Naoe decides to commemorate this new bond by chugging burned water and reciting a speech.
We have come together, despite it all, to bring change, to bring light.
this bonds us.
What will we call ourselves?
My father told me to follow this blade. That I would find my way.
Then we should continue to follow it.
We are the League of the Hidden Blade, the Kakushibaiki.
It is an honor. One I will not take for granted.
There's just no bad blood between these two. It's been a few hours and they're 100% cordial. I'll bring this back up, but for now, let's discuss Yasuke. Including side content, I want to say it was a good 15-hour gap from playing Prologue Yasuke to finally picking him up for Act 2. Whenever Yasuke was off screen, I was asking, where's Yasuke? Now he's here and I get to talk about him. Yasuke is not Naoe, obviously. In fact, he's worse in every aspect of gameplay. Despite becoming a samurai, he's not exactly athletic and can't climb up certain objects. This prevents him from activating most sync points, which facilitates fast travel between spots in the map. He can get to some points and can travel to ones activated, but getting off of them is, well, it varies. Because some locations have pages that have somehow made it onto roofs, Naoe will need to be swapped to, which while quick is annoying as the flow of gameplay is interrupted due to Yasuke's inability to complete the task. He can't assassinate, at least not silently. Any assassination he does do requires him to call out to an enemy and make them yell out in pain before killing them. Because he can't just lop heads off? Just because he doesn't fall under the assassination archetype doesn't mean he can't be silent. He makes more noise, obviously, so it's not like you can do this often anyways. Stealth is clearly not Yasuke's strong suit. So why does he have the bow? Picking off enemies at a safe distance seems more like Naoe's thing, but she does have her tools. Still, I find Yasuke having the bow to be odd, especially because you can recover arrows much less than you can with Naoe's tools. I can reliably recover kunais off walls and from corpses. I can't do the same thing with arrows. It feels a lot less consistent on when I can recover arrows, and that makes the potential of Stealth Yasuke much less viable than Assault Naoe. Because silent arrows are limited, run out fast, and unless you have a stash of refill arrows close by and don't accidentally break them, you will have to eventually resort to his dash and slash combat. He feels less flexible than Naoe since he only has one real way of play. Makes sense why everyone else still prefers to keep playing as her. Yasuke is a warrior and has more weapons, health, and power than Naoe. His long katana, kanabo, naginata, teppo, and bow. Enemy health is already meager, but Yasuke can just cut through everyone rather easily. Despite playing on expert, he makes encounters feel like jokes, and with a perk that enables him to block unblockable attacks, they become downright trivial. It also allows him to get through enemies that you can't normally get past, in one way or another. He's overpowered, yeah, but when Naoe can become a powerhouse, Yasuke becomes outclassed in every way. That calls into question why they have dual protagonists when one character can do everything better. She can do everything better than him. Well, except acting.
I am Iga.
He has some exclusive activities, but all those amount to is more repetitive tasks that litter the map and aren't worth engaging in. And so while he has his differences from Naoe, they aren't enough to convince anyone to play him over her for the bulk of the game. Well, what about his story? Let's get into it. His flashbacks start only a few months back in spring. Shouldn't that be right when Nobunaga took him in? That places this anywhere from April to early June. Timeline's confusing, but maybe we can delve into what Nobunaga and Yasuke's relationship was actually like, how it develops. Can't wait. Anyways, Diogo is sent to Azuchi Castle by Nobunaga to train under a master to get him up to snuff on being a samurai.
Nobutsuna-sensei will do as Lord Nobunaga commands, and train you in his Shinkageru style.
Thank you, Nobutsuna-sensei.
We have 1 month until Lord Nobunaga's return. He will expect you to be the finest of warriors by then.
He has to train for 1 month. It will take him 1 month to be exceptional. The finest of warriors, as they say, on par with even those that have trained for longer. I don't know about that. You're telling me Diogo goes from becoming one of the greatest samurai Japan has ever seen in 30 days or less? I don't care if he has picked up a weapon before with the Jesuits.
I am experienced with steel. I was a bodyguard for the Jesuits.
This still feels like an insufficient amount of time. Despite winning easily, didn't even break a sweat, the narrative dictates Diogo lost there.
That wasn't a duel, that was a beating.
How is he still standing?
Going back to his lodging, he runs into a group of bullies.
You are the one cooking for us? That food is not fit for dogs.
Tomorrow, it will improve. I promise.
It better.
or Lord Nobunaga will hear about it.
Leave her alone.
And who is this now? Tell me you are not a student of Nobutsuna-sensei.
Are you all right?
I am talking to you, Outlander. Don't you know to bow to your betters?
Despite winning easily, did it even break a sweat, the narrative dictates Diogo lost there.
Stay down, Outlander. If you show such insolence again, you will know my katana.
He's sad, I guess. Certainly doesn't look like it.
No. I cannot go back. I cannot give up. I cannot fail.
Looks like he's teasing his past a bit more, maybe where he came from and what circumstances led him here. Can't wait to see it. The next morning, he meets Nobunaga's sister, Lady Ochi, and he's flirting with her.
It must be lonely, far from your family and home.
I am more lonely than I would like. So much loss over so many years.
I understand. Though a strong warrior never lacks in admirers.
Then I will train diligently.
I don't think he'd ever do that. I don't care if I control the buttons I press. They chose to add this option here, and it makes less sense for a man fresh under Nobunaga's care who he seems to admire here to be actively flirting with the man's sister, knowing who she is. I doubt he'd approve. She gives him a kasode from the woman he came to the rescue of yesterday and starts his training montage. He fails over and over again, not getting any better, really. I don't know if he's supposed to be sad or numb. He doesn't have a lot of range in his emotions, but then he just gets good. There's no gradual improvement, a switch flips and he's able to land a hit. They show a flashback of him learning calligraphy with Lady Nine, where he says he's unsure of who he is.
He has sent me to wield a brush instead.
What did he say to you?
I was reacting, not responding. Like a man lashing out at his own shadow, unsure of whom he is.
I've never gained a sense that he's been lost or unable to discern his place in the world. It's not even like he really struggles with this either. His doubt clears within a single lesson. They even admit as much.
This is what Nobutsuna-sensei would have me become.
Diogo, it is who you already are.
My apologies, Sensei.
No need. You did not react. You responded. Good.
But to react is to respond. It's the actual definition. What he chases a man with the worst hairline imaginable. Seems to be paranoid about the Portuguese.
Prever homem como tu num lugar deste não devia ter sido indelicado. Perdoa-me.
And later on has a chat with Lady Nine. She explains how Nobunaga had the same teacher who trained Diogo now, and that Nobunaga gifted him a katana that was taken by a rival school. Basically giving Diogo a way to prove his loyalty to Nobunaga by taking the katana back.
Those samurai who mocked you are from the same rival school. Masatoyo is their sensei.
I begin to understand.
Tomorrow, Lord Nobunaga returns to Azuchi. Masatoyo will swear allegiance to him at a ceremony. Masatoyo will make sure to wear Nobutsuna's katana at his belt.
For all to see.
Tomorrow is about loyalty, something Lord Nobunaga values above all else.
She couldn't lay it on more thick. Like Diogo would have to be incredibly dense to not realize he's being given a cheat code to the top. The next morning, he does some more training and starts rattling off the tenets of a samurai.
Benevolence, righteousness, courtesy, wisdom, integrity, courage. This is what it means to take up the sword. This is who I am.
I can't tell what they're going for here. Is this what Diogo has had to learn during his time here? Because he wasn't unwise when he got here. He stood up for the defenseless. He's been a polite and courteous guest. He hasn't had to really learn to be a better person because he's already shown himself to be that the entire time he's been on screen.
The Oda clan asks no more of you than what it has seen in you from the start.
And then he meets a child, and this child shows up to tell Diogo about his grandfather, how brave and selfless he was.
His name was Yasuke. He was brave, but also kind. When anyone needed something, they would call Yasuke, Yasuke, and he would always help. And I miss him. And he was brave.
and his name was Yasuke. The kid wants to be a warrior like his grandfather and like Diogo, and so Diogo becomes Yasuke.
Yasuke.
That's what they did with his name. He wants to be Yasuke because Yasuke is brave and kind, but he already is. It's not even him earning the name because he hasn't had to change to earn it. Why did they think we needed an origin for his name? And isn't it odd how Diogo, a man who is trying to find himself, describing himself as following wherever the wind takes him and whose entire arc is trying to figure out who he is, would just take another man's identity in order to feel the purpose he's already embodied?
Why choose that name?
A child told me of a Yasuke remembered for his courage and integrity. The name is a reminder that I must live a life worthy of such remembrance.
Whatever, it's time to meet Nobunaga again. Yasuke arrives to claim the katana of his mentor, and Nobunaga is easily impressed by this. He allows the duel to commence and Yasuke wins easily. He doesn't even break a sweat, and the narrative dictates Yasuke slaughters them all. I guess he just really wanted to kill those men, and with that he earns his place at Nobunaga's side as a true samurai.
What shall we call you? Samurai.
My name is Yasuke.
And I have to say, that was worthless. Yasuke doesn't go through an arc. At least Naoe does. She has to break past her father's overprotectiveness to prove her worth as a shinobi, that she isn't a helpless girl. You can even argue she starts to become less reckless and more willing to learn under her mentors. With Yasuke though, what exactly is he learning that he hasn't known already? From the start, he was always loyal to Nobunaga, he just needed to show it. But then again, there was never any growth for Yasuke here. He has been what he always is. Now we cut to autumn, where Yasuke meets back up with Nobunaga, and it comes off as if these two have not really had many interactions since the last time they've met. Nobunaga asks Yasuke about the Jesuits and has some strong words for them.
Still, you hated Valignano, that much I could see. Who are these people, really?
There is a uniquely dangerous element to these men. They believe all the fields of this world are their own, and they reap a bloody harvest as they expand their reach.
Hopefully we can get more on them and why Yasuke hates them so. Nobunaga concludes this conversation by stating that he wants to bring war in order to achieve peace. His true goal isn't that of the Jesuits, which Yasuke seems to believe him on. And then he says this.
There is much we will learn from each other, Yasuke. This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. They have a lot to learn from each other in autumn, just before the invasion of Iga. What the fuck? Why does Yasuke even trust Nobunaga so much? Why does Nobunaga like Yasuke? They barely have a personal relationship, and yet I'm to believe Yasuke's loyalty is solid and that he's shown him another way? We could be a couple of months, weeks, or days away from catching up to the present. What more could there possibly be to strengthen this bond? Because they're taking another shortcut to get these characters where they need to be without doing any of the work. It's not over yet. They have another shot to build over the bond. Nope, we're doing temple training and presenting another choice that contradicts established characterization.
We must take every advantage to achieve your vision for this land.
The old world is dead. This is the way forward.
Hold! Allow me to duel him.
He is a formidable warrior.
And so deserving of a warrior's death.
I don't care if it isn't canon. The fact that it's there is dumb when all it does is contradict canon.
It's an ambush! Protect Lord Nobunaga!
Shinobi have decided to invade Azuchi Castle, which leads Nobunaga to have an emergency meeting with his generals.
But can we talk matters of strategy and war before this foreigner?
Yasuke is a loyal samurai of the Oda clan, and an invaluable advisor.
Advisor?
He has an outsider's perspective. We may benefit from his insights.
We do not see them interact much at all, and now Yasuke is an invaluable advisor? He's gained this much of Nobunaga's trust and we barely see any of it. Incredible. Anyways, they discuss affairs and Nobunaga continues to blast Mitsuhide, really laying it on thick on how he would eventually betray him.
There is still the Iga problem.
They suffered heavy losses against my army.
They pushed us back and defeated your army. They used their victory over the Oda clan to rally support.
I would have let those hill peasants alone if my idiot son had not felt the need to prove himself.
Now the task is half done, and the problem is worse than if you had done nothing at all.
What I'm really getting from this is that Iga would have been screwed anyways. They have always shown to be willing to defend their home. Nobunaga says his son exacerbated the issue, but it's not like if Nobunaga showed up to unify Iga with his vision that they would have agreed. He would still be willing to burn it down. They discuss how to handle Iga, and ultimately Nobunaga defers to Yasuke about it.
I have made my choice. We ride for Iga tomorrow at dawn. Full assault. No time to waste, as you advised. We will go the long way around and attack them where they won't expect us, as you advised.
I did not expect you to heed my words.
There is absolutely nothing Yasuke can say that Nobunaga would not deny. He even states that Yasuke has the power to move armies, as if to imply a future payoff. Where does all of this faith and trust come from? Man, if only we'd gotten to see this relationship grow. Oh well. They're prepared to head off to Iga tomorrow, so there's really nothing left for them to bond over. In fact, Yasuke is still surprised that Nobunaga even listened to his advice, which implies that the bond is only developing now, when it's too late. Yasuke gets his armor and his horse from Lady Ochi, and that's that. Over an hour's worth of flashbacks that damage the characters more than if they left it alone. Yasuke is a character that so far has not changed. He never needs to change. He never even really needs to prove himself. Everyone loves him. Kids want to be him. Ladies adore him. Lords respect him. Characters just give him what he needs to move forward. His skills are above those of regular samurai who have fought for far longer. From the start, he is admired, and his status as an outsider isn't a detriment. In fact, it's his greatest asset, recognized by people who would otherwise admonish him. And let's be honest, someone like Yasuke in 1500s Japan will be getting called slurs that would make your great-grandpappy crack a smile he hasn't pulled in decades. He's a Gary Stew, plain and simple. Bad things happen to him, but it's not a product of any of his traits or any actions he takes. His existence in his game is nothing more than a power fantasy, and it isn't made better for it. The plot bends in his favor, and the characters around him all revel in awe of his potential. Even his relationship with Nawe is instantly fantastic.
We're supposed to be scanning the crowd, not watching the match.
I have two eyes. Shh. Is it hard for you to be here with me?
We've all taken actions we regret while wearing the cloaks of loyalty. I'm glad you're here with me, Yasuke.
This feels good.
Talking about stupid things? It does. I always wanted adventure. The life ahead of me didn't always seem exciting. Young now, I wouldn't have expected this, though.
I think that no matter when or where, you would live a life that changed the lives of others.
I hope so.
They will fight for each other. They respect each other. They will enjoy the other's presence when just the other night, Nawe was rearing to rip his head off. There's no more hostility for what happened in Iga or with Nobunaga. They are just the best of pals now. I'm starting to think Ubisoft doesn't know how to create a compelling dynamic without taking the game pieces and moving them to the end of the board. You'd think they would even have them learn from the other, and maybe that could be represented in gameplay. Maybe Nawe can teach Yasuke about the ways of the shinobi, where he can learn to take out enemies silently for once. Maybe he could learn more stealth tactics from her. Over time, he could learn how a leap of faith works instead of bumbling through it.
I meant to do that.
And Yasuke could teach Nawe how he was trained to create more power in her strikes, potentially new ways to utilize her tools, maybe even access to the bow, something to increase her combat efficiency even if she is pretty good at it already. They could have progressed their relationship like that and showed growth through gameplay. But nope, just add water and voila! Instant payoffs. It's unearned. I guess all the relationship work was left in the drafts. Well, the good news is that it can only get worse. So, let's just get to it. Nawe and Yasuke discuss the current state of the Shinbumafu, and Yasuke creates some significant leads for them.
The one with the ox horns. I know his crest. The Besho clan. Lord Nobunaga's armies fought them in Harima. Ise Sadauki. The Ises have alliances with the Akechis through marriage.
He was a royal asshole.
That must make him guilty. I know one head of their clan resides in a Yamashiro temple.
Good.
For the others, allow me to speak to my contacts in Azuchi. I have never heard gossip like the talk in that castle.
You're already a worthy addition to the cause. Let's get started.
And this is where Act 2 begins, where the Shimbumafu remain underdeveloped and the tasks you do to get to each of them become more of a time sink, oftentimes with no real relevance to your target. Most characters you meet don't have any role beyond that target's arc, but overstay their welcome. To get to the target, you'll have to complete 3 to 4 other tasks because Ubisoft believes padding up the main scenario is the right approach. The only reason it takes 40 hours to complete this game is because they desperately want you to keep playing, even if they lack the depth and talent to make each main scenario interesting. We still have to talk about each of them, but I will try and make it short. No promises. Aside from a few moments, there is really nothing to these quests. I've never fallen asleep on a game in the middle of the day, but Shadows broke new ground. And man, did they hit the fucking ground crawling. Let's begin with the Fool, who Naue has previously met. They locate his brother, who he poisoned to sound like that kid from Malcolm in the Middle.
They thought you were sent by my brother.
We already know how to make $6 an hour.
Anyways, he wants to get his brother away from Mitsuhide, even knowing he's too far gone. For some reason, they think that he could be Shimbumafu, so he tells them he wrote a letter that proves his innocence, and to find a guy that'll help them get to the castle center. Going to the guy, he confirms that the brother isn't corrupt, which defeats the purpose of finding the letter, but we gotta go there anyways because padding. He can't trust the duo, however, so he informs them of corrupt samurai that need to be taken care of, and all he needs is a promise that it will be done.
He may know the rest of them as well.
The samurai will not be a problem anymore.
Sadatame was right to trust you. I will help.
That's all it takes. Not even proof that the job is done, which doesn't make sense, cause what if they don't do what they— Next is the letter, which we find with some asshole. He won't give it up without a fight and we give it to him. Somehow he doesn't die from this because he's important. The redundant letter proves his innocence, so the duo meet up at a sumo match to confirm things with the brother, except he just doesn't show up. So we have this extra scene.
I should have asked Yaya to join me. She likes wrestling.
Yasuke, you don't know Yaya, because Yaya only knew Naue before you showed up. Yaya also isn't part of the team. The game just doesn't account for you sending her off because they really thought you'd have her on the team. Excellent gambit. They chat with some guy who isn't important.
When at a disadvantage, one must manipulate all the forces at play to win. Like in war, or politics, or this very land.
They definitely didn't add this scene because if for some reason this guy shows back up later, he'd have no other scenes that establish his presence. Anyways, he spits out vague lines before being noticed as a shogun and bolting. And the duo go, huh, that's weird, and continue on with the day, and don't give it any more thought. They infiltrate the castle and confront Brotherfucker, who has his bro on his knees after he tries and fails to convince him once again.
He will be shogun, and I will stand next to him. Only then will our clan be honored.
His only motive is power, so that's cool. Then Asshole shows up, stabs the brother, and no one really cares.
Ha! Got you, dog. Your turn.
Acting.
We kill Brotherfucker and Asshole hangs around like he knows Naue, despite only Yasuke meeting him. And they can fucking flirt.
We're good together.
I can't deny a certain something.
Or what the writers think flirting is anyways. Quick side note, because I neglected to talk about allies. Now that we have Yasuke and Naue, they have a few allies that have quests that they'll need to complete, while earning their favor to recruit them to use their abilities in combat, much like their own. It's optional, but there's not a lot to the system. The main reason I want to talk about this is because almost every ally has a romance path you can follow for both of the leads. And when I say romance, I mean getting laid. The game thinks romance is just a speedrun to getting laid. Every option to flirt is thinly veiled horny, and it's really bad.
Want a shiny new katana? I stole it from a fat samurai in Kyoto.
No.
Ah, then you're here for another type of sword, perhaps?
Depends on the quality of the blade.
Only the finest steel, of course. Forged in the flames of pleasure and chaos.
I'm convinced whoever worked on these romance moments hasn't actually been with anyone because they know that this is not how humans have ever flirted in any period of time. And once they do get laid, that's it. They barely have dialogue in the hideout and you will never acknowledge their existence. You can even get laid with other people and it will never get reflected, because for a choice-based game, they could give less of a shit about most of yours. Hell, the only time choices really matter is if an ally joins you or not, because again, they're not important beyond their arcs in the story. And I'm being very generous in saying they have arcs to go through. Asshole is one of those aloof, cool assholes that fuck with the rich to give to the poor, but that's only because he's actually insecure and depressed. His depression comes out of fucking nowhere because they realize realized he needed something that isn't just him being an asshole, but forgot that him threatening to burn the fucking rice stockpile with him in it deprives the poor he cares about of food, because he is still an asshole. This is also the only choice to my knowledge that has a timer. First time around I didn't even notice because they never introduced anything like it. Look at where the timer is in the UI. Fuck off, game.
And I will be gone.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
I would have kept this save going, but I did need an ally to see the mechanic at least. But they're about as useful as scouts, and to be honest, the game didn't need them. But I suppose it's something else to do in Ubisoft's open world. Next up is the Fox. The duo head for Obama, and find their lead being attacked. Fox's men are hunting this man and his clan down, and so he tells them to find Hong if they want the masked fellow.
Was that man involved in the invasion of Iga?
Yes, he was, as were many others.
That is the past. We are here now, fighting for the future.
You keep telling yourself that, Naue. It doesn't matter to you. Keep this in mind. They travel around Obama to find a noodle merchant and learn of who's behind the hunts, where they get 2 more leads at a bay and a castle. They head to the castle to warn the occupants of danger and get sent to a temple to track down music that was overheard. That sends them to a Biwa master, which leads them to that hunter who has been dealing with pirates. Those pirates have information in the bay that leads them to their target, who is once again looking to reclaim the power he once lost. This arc has one interesting pivot, where Yasuke seems more invested in hunting down the hunter pirate, letting his anger guide his actions.
You take care of Motoaki. Fate has delivered this one unto me.
What?
Samemaru is mine. You cannot run forever.
Who put that sword in your hand, foreigner?
If I have to ask twice, you will find out.
Ask anything else. How many cocoa of rice your kind can fetch?
I will say I am interested in seeing where this goes. Naue, meanwhile, finds their target. Poet Fucker laments about his losses and how that informs his path.
You slaughter the blameless and exploit the poor, but sleep with the guiltless heart.
The only justice in this world is the justice that we make.
I understand your thirst for revenge, but hatred does not make things right.
They fight, he loses.
He would have rebuilt his clan on the blood of the innocent. We had to stop him.
Well said.
Yasuke refuses to explain what happened, but asks Naue for her help.
I need your help to find this man.
Who is he to you?
Please. Just help me.
Which he then immediately rejects?
You can tell me. I will listen.
I will, but this is something I must deal with alone. For now.
What the fuck was the point, actually? Whatever, we'll get to that later. Let's talk about the Mourner. Oh boy, this actual arc is what I consider to be the pinnacle of lazy, vapid, sluggish, menial, shit-soaked sludge. Every quest is designed to be a waste of time. I can't even say there was effort involved, because if there were, it could have been interesting with what they attempted to do. But we need those extra 2 hours, so let's just trudge through the fucking mud.
Your daimyo died.
The traitor Mitsuhide would not let me die defending my lord. Said an outlander like me could not die with honor.
Yasuke, you could have at least tried. He had like 5 men around him, that's nothing for you. Yeah, him not killing you is actually retarded, but you could have fought back. You deliberately did not. Ochi gives him some notes on where the Shimbumafu are terrorizing citizens, talks about Nobunaga, and agrees to meet again. He blows up a gunpowder shipment. This gives him nothing on the Mourner. He goes to execute a drunken samurai harassing farmers, which sends him to another lead, which sends him to the Daikon. This gives him a meeting point, so that is something. He meets up with Lady Ochi again, and they have a very long boat ride and a very bland conversation. Yasuke adds absolutely nothing meaningful here.
The figure said, I am the Dragon King who lives in the palace at the bottom of Lake Biwa.
Scary.
Yes, every month, the monster ate one of the Dragon King's children. Soon, there would be none left.
Unacceptable.
Fuck, God of War boat rides were more engaging. This story has no relevant— what in the ever-loving, scorching fuck does this have to do with the mourner? He then has to wait and participate at the shrine. But can we focus on
I must show respect to the kami who dwell here.
But can we focus on the—
May the great apparent kami of Shirahige bless your journeys.
why are we— what is the point of it? What does this have to do with the target? Why do we need this? What purpose does it serve other than to piss me off specifically? Why is this tied to the mourner? This could have been a stupid fuck off side quest. This did not need to be mandatory. God, a drink isn't strong enough to wash away all of the regret I feel playing this game. Despite this being a quest to honor Nobunaga's memory, and despite how loyal Yasuke seemingly is for Nobunaga, he will have no issues making passes at Lady Ochi.
If you knew your castle would fall tomorrow, how would you live your last night?
I would spend it with you.
Oh, Yasuke. Yes. No.
Because his mind may be loyal, but his head sure isn't. I just would think you wouldn't want to dishonor someone you consider to be a friend by fucking his sister, but what do I know? The duo meet up to deal with the mourner, and it's revealed to be Lady Ochi.
Explain yourself.
I wanted only to help the people of Omi.
By stealing from them?
A poor harvest. The people were starving.
Apparently this is why they needed to waste my time with tasks that couldn't give away her identity. Instead, it's supplemented with points of sympathy to endear the player to Ochi, because they've really hit the nail on the head on their emotional beats to try this shit. This could have been less than 2 hours, but this is the mandatory time for each target, so what the fuck ever. Ochi explains that although she is Shimbumbafu, she was actually tricked by loan sharks who then put her in with the group. But Deptfucker should be pretty prosperous, should she not? I don't know. I would think Nobunaga's sister wouldn't need to borrow from any moneylenders, especially since this would have been while Nobunaga was still reigning. It feels manufactured for tension, to create a conflict for Yasuke that goes nowhere, and a rift between Naoe that— oh, I'll get to that. Deptfucker wanted money, but only for the right reasons. Naoe isn't convinced.
Don't I get a say?
You do. But Naoe, she was kind to me at Azuchi. I owe her.
Blood must be paid in blood, Yasuke. Lady Oichi must die.
She must die for reasons. I guess forgiveness is out of the window when it works for her. They are clearly attempting to atone. They sent you out to kill the people who were messing with them and the citizens, but she's Shimbumafu, so she can't be forgiven, which goes against what Naoe has learned in Act 1. She supposedly isn't seeking vengeance anymore. She's saving the people from tyranny, but that is clearly not happening here. She even gets pissy if you decide to spare them.
We cannot build a world without mercy, or we are no better than those we overthrow.
But what happens when you decide to kill her as Naoe? What unfortunate outcome occurs from this action? Just take a look. Man, there's a lot to say about this, but let's start with the most obvious. That's an innocent man that Naoe just killed, murdered without a second thought, something that she apparently meant to do.
This man is innocent!
He's Shimbakufu!
He is a rice farmer from Omi, nothing more!
And this time I can really rant about it, because it's part of the story and not exclusively gameplay. It doesn't matter to her that he's innocent. If he's Shimbumbafu, he's beyond saving. Where was this line of thinking with Russell? You killed that box fucker because he took something from your father and left you for dead. But because he was tied to the little shit, you felt sad and repentant. This changed your stance on your goals. Now, it's like it never happened. She is still driven purely by vengeance, because that's what matters to her ultimately. To avenge her father. She's not doing it for the people. If anything, that's just the savior complex talking. And do you know what she has the fucking audacity to do next?
It's always like this. The poor pay for the crimes of the rich.
You fucking filthy, slimy, greasy, repugnant, rotten rat. You did this. You kill the poor and blame it on her? It's not even like it's your first time doing so. It's always like this because you make it so, you disingenuous fucking weasel. Wasp has more fucking grace and honor than you. When this happened, I cackled in pure confusion and astonishment. I didn't think they would have her do this. Somehow her stabbing Kuma is worse than if she killed Depthfucker, because it shows Naue is a worthless character. Her morals on vengeance and forgiveness and peace contradict each other constantly. Every time she suddenly switches stances, it actively damages her character.
Your ideals of taking innocent lives are not shared by most. Kuma! He's Shinbakufu!
He is a rice farmer from Omi, nothing more.
But now she's sunk through the core. There's no redeeming this. I'm sorry. It's done. She's washed. She assassinated herself. And if Yasuke had any fucking integrity, he'd call her out on her irresponsible call here. He should be pissed.
You are angry at me?
Should I be?
Should you be? You aren't serious.
Yes, you should be. I tried to kill the perfect, beautiful Lady Oichi.
It is the scorpion's nature to sting.
You're cracking jokes. That's what you do when you're gargling the piss right now. This is actually unreal. There will be no consequence for Naue for doing what she did, because Kuma somehow lived through that. Other men have died from less. He got stabbed around the fucking heart. You're not convincing me he lived. And you know what? Even if he did live, Naue wanted to kill him. That was the intent. She doesn't even apologize for it. She wanted it to happen. But the game doesn't have the balls to have this fracture their relationship. For Yasuke to admonish her, to note her hypocrisy, how she nearly killed a close friend of his, how she tried to kill someone Nobunaga cares about. And maybe he'd even say that he can't follow her path if this is what she chooses to do. Because if he were a character with established traits, he'd do that. But he isn't. He's a post-it note of a character. He has a framework that he can't even fit in. Certainly not after this. Choices don't matter, at least not any real choices. They pretend that they do, but it falls apart immediately. This is putrid mystery liquid, blended from a variety of assorted toxins, molded to assemble a monstrosity that maybe resembles a narrative at the right angle under squinted eyes. But the longer it's allowed to fester, the more it loses its shape, revealing the horror for what it really is. Unadulterated, unregulated, unyielding slop. Depthfucker isn't fazed by this in any way. Yasuke still gets Nobunaga's katana. Naue and Yasuke are still cool. It's all just fucking fantastic. At least they get the fuck, right? That's what this arc was really for. Really twist that sword in Nobunaga's side, huh, bud? What a fucking cesspool of a narrative. God, there's 6 of them left?
You can't keep getting away with it!
Okay, who do we have left? Alright, the Naginata. Sure. They go to their lead in Otsu and learn their target will be dueling on the bridge nearby. There's a note here to imply the announcement spread from both parties to the larger populace. The duel, however, is quickly revealed to be an ambush.
Ready to die, old man?
You die tonight.
So say you. But there are other powers in this land. The Shinbakufu is rising!
Why the fuck would you reference the Shinbumafu here? If the identity of this group is to be kept a secret, then the wise move is to not declare your allegiance to a potential audience that knows a duel is happening here, you magnificent mongrel. Yasuke then takes the opportunity to even the odds. Smugfucker runs off and the duo track down the old man. He's drunk on his ass and they have to take down Smugfucker's men. They then have to recruit the old man's daughter to help break into the castle.
We need your help breaking into Sakamoto Castle.
Let the Akechians order destroy each other. This is Rokkaku land.
She declines, but changes her mind from one end of the mission to the start of the next. Yasuke and the old man lower Smugfucker's numbers, while the daughter teams up with Naue to break down the defenses.
Watch where you point that thing.
What's wrong, Igahime? Does my teppo make you nervous?
No, I like dangerous weapons.
What about dangerous women?
Even better.
They both have horrendous voice acting. It's a match made in heaven. Smugfucker gets cut down easily and his motives are, you guessed it, power and money. Neat. And no information about the box is given.
Tell me where to find the box.
Box? What box? You speak madness?
Next, They hunt down the Ox, who's taken the survivors of a massacre and added them to his ranks, using their anger to fight back against the damage Nobunaga did. Cultfucker leads these men and promises those who join him renewed purpose and power. Can't forget about power. They try and make parallels between Yasuke's loyalty and the loyalty the survivors placed in Cultfucker and missed the mark. They give positions that cast Nobunaga as either a misunderstood unifier or a malicious monster. I don't need them to have a definitive correct position. I prefer they keep it ambiguous in that way. But they never really have Yasuke introspect on what he's done for Nobunaga or reflect on how far he has gone in pursuit of his goals. And when it is expressed slightly, it's immediately dismissed.
Is it hard for you to be here with me?
We've all taken actions we regret while wearing the cloaks of loyalty.
There was no logic to the Ox's vision, but Tatsuno believed in it. He had to. Is that so different from why I fight?
The Ox used words like justice to control others. You don't. You don't speak of justice, you embody it. You seek to free people, not mold them to your vision of the world.
I think they never properly flesh out either side of the conversation because they didn't want it to be a condemnation of Yasuke as a character, and we certainly can't have that now, can we? It doesn't even make a difference because the whole arc is non-linear. Any lessons taken can't be applied for the next target, so any development can't exist past this. They try to cut off Cultfucker's support with varying results, making their way to the man himself by sneaking in via smuggling. They cut through the Suno and the Cultfucker. Do you want to know what his motives are?
Power.
Also, fuck the box. Next, Yasuke meets up with Kanbei, who suspects some group is planning to undermine he and his allies in Harima. He attends a Ringakai that gets ambushed, and a young lord gets captured. His father seems really torn up about this.
They have taken my son. My son!
I will order a barricade of all roads in and out of Himeji.
A barricade? I want our men on alert. My own security detail within Himeji. We should hope my son is found soon. For his sake.
Yeah, he did it. They hunt down leads, which include finding out that the abduction was planned. We also get the most ass shown in this game by far. Yasuke finds the child who the father was hiding in a temple nearby and confront him as he reveals himself to be the noble. More beating women and a distraction is planned to get to Dadfucker and end him. He wants to kill Kanbei and take away Hideyoshi's stake in Harima. For power, of course. Once cornered, he figures it's the end of the line, and so he reads his son's stanza.
Spring fears not the fall. The yellow flower blooms. Seeds wake up in the black earth. Spring fears not the fall.
His thirst for power was really a chance for him to see his son, so he exchanges his life for his son's, to grow into the lord he wants him to be. I mean, it's something. It's more character from him than any of the other Shimbumafu. The bar is in hell, so it's not exactly a compliment. Don't mistake my praise. Sparing him or killing him changes nothing, except adding an extra dialogue option for his son, showing that he did read his stanza. Next, they go after the Wise, the one who wears the mask of an old man. They arrive in the middle of some feud between a lord and lady, with a potential deal for peace being brokered by Jokin. Jokin is the only man of relevance in this arc, and the Wise wears an old man mask. It really isn't subtle. While he pretends to respect the deal, he actively sabotages it throughout, hoping to drive a rift between the two parties to culminate in a war. The deal fucker gets foiled on every step and ultimately tries one last gambit during the day of the peace talks, and the man is just not attempting to hide it.
You bring me here to have me killed? If I wanted you dead, you would be.
Your bickering forestalls peace, assuming one of you does not follow another agenda.
It is her! Well said, Junke. I've had my suspicions all this time.
One of you three is not who they seem.
It cannot be me. I work for peace.
Don't worry, the game wouldn't let you choose wrong anyways.
Yasuke is right. The traitor Junke has deceived us all. Well said, Junke. I've had my suspicions all this time. Fool! Quick! Show your blade at the monk! You lied to me! Cut them down where they stand.
So what's Steelfucker's motive?
I like money.
Oh yeah, and then there's some weird guy that follows the duel to every objective. It's cool because he's weird, but he's also helpful while acting as a red herring. He gets the gang into all kinds of shenanigans, which if you really think about it, please fuck off. Alright, it's done. Thank God. All of the meaningless, infuriating, yawn-inducing fluff is done. And now we can get to the last two members, starting with Mitsuhide. They meet with Lady Nine and her husband Hideyoshi to prepare for the final fight.
Akechi Mitsuhide has betrayed our master, Lord Nobunaga. Today is the day of our vengeance! Vitamin blood. So, let's us spill it!
You know what's really funny about this speech right here? Nobunaga twice says that Yasuke's potential is so great that he has the power to move armies. So it's particularly noteworthy that Yasuke has nothing to say to this army, to take back what's theirs, to speak for Nobunaga and his ambitions, to rise up and seek peace. It's almost like they kind of forgot about this payoff. Excellent. Dumbfucker is hiding like a little bitch. His presence is laughably minimal. It's almost impressive how he disappears once Nobunaga is dead. He kept tabs on Naoe and used that to his advantage, watching each member of the Shimbumafu and knowing when each of them fell. But of course he loses this ability and doesn't know about anything that's happened to his group since being holed up.
About the Hosokawa clan and the rest of our allies.
Like he's genuinely surprised he has no support to call on. What the fuck were you even doing, man? The world is effectively the same when Nobunaga was ruling and when Dumbfucker took over. We hear of people being messed with, but the effects are never felt. He sends Ronin to hunt the duo, but that barely happens throughout the game. It would imply that he's watching them, but apparently fucking not. Mitsuhide is remedial.
I should have killed you in Honoji.
Of course you should have, you fucking retard! I don't even have anything witty to say, this is so fucking stupid! Oh, you think you should have killed him when you had the perfect opportunity to? Like the other time you left someone to live instead of being completely certain they're dead? How astute of you, you brain-dead, ineffectual, feckless fucking roach. How can you even lead a country when you can barely put one foot in front of the other, you troglodytic fuckwad?
Lord Mitsuhide, we will cover your retreat.
He runs away and then decides not to once he gets to his escape boat.
No more running. I will face my fate with sword in hand. Go. I release you.
Okay, we get some more perspective shit. Dumbfucker says Nobunaga was a bad man because he ruined his town and killed his mother. But because our protagonist is an S-tier meat rider, we can't accept that.
Lord Nobunaga was... That does not justify your treachery.
Someone had to save us from his madness. To stop the endless slaughter of innocents.
I'll never forget Iga. Just as I will never forget how you murdered my father.
It was necessary. And now, you back another tyrant. I saved this country.
You saved this country? Would have been interesting if we could have fucking seen the effects of your rule. Oh well. Dumbfucker utilizes the expert tactic of pocket sand. It's done incredibly frequently, but at least it's a unique move. Near the end of the fucking game. The fight has both characters swap in to beat his ass and eventually he's out of the ring.
You defied death and hunted us down. We underestimated you.
Just because you say that doesn't mean that plot point works. He reveals another, the real face of the Shimbumafu. Because why did they think he was the last member when they always counted 11 among their ranks excluding Boxfucker? And it's the guy from the sumo match. Because again, without that scene, it would be a villain that appears out of nowhere. Dumbfucker, in his final words, says that Yasuke, with less than 6 months of training, might just be the greatest among those in Nobunaga's clan. Men who have no doubt been at it for decades. Man, that filter does not look good with the cutscenes. Whatever. He died as he lived, being fucking useless. And now they confront the would-be shogun.
Foreign samurai and the shadow from Iga. We meet again.
Wow, what a shiny and gaudy outfit. That certainly wouldn't leave my memory for a while. In fact, that design, that pattern, that color, it would be hard to forget if it were to shimmer under the moonlight in full view of a traumatized girl and her dying dad. Naoe is allegedly observant. She even managed to capture the detail of a teppo and its gold etchings while bleeding out. So why did she forget the clothing of the horse fucker? You would think seeing that shirt during that sumo match, some memories would flood in. This is your fault, game. You told us specifically how strong Naoe's observational skills are, so it's very convenient that the plot stopped her from recognizing a crucial detail that she would have otherwise if he was ranked lower on the proverbial poll. He also has the box, which is really funny when every other member save for the last couple had no idea as to what it is or where it was, or who had it. They would know it was being held by their leader, that's all they would have to say. It's pretty clear that would be the case, but you think they just rolled silently after leaving a girl to bleed out and just disassembled, never discussing any future plans like when are they getting their rewards for retrieving the box, and so on and so forth. It's incredibly dumb to keep having that plot point go nowhere, only to land on the lap of the last people they needed to find.
I underestimated your resilience, Shadow. And I admit, it cost me everything.
Just because you say it doesn't make that plot point any better.
I always keep my word.
An honorable trade that could prove useful to you today.
Now he's going to do the thing where he has information that they both seek, to try and make it seem as if this man has his hands in everything around Japan. If he was as omnipresent as they want him to be, he'd take more precautions to the fact that two people, one of which is an apparent seasoned and powerful samurai, would eventually find and kill him.
Now, it is customary to discuss terms.
Where?
Give me your word, and I will tell you where.
Why do they trust him again? The last time you listened to the words of a Shimbumafu, you got manipulated into doing their bidding and allegedly made things worse. Well, you know, we gotta have a third act, so obviously there's more he knows than they do. And in exchange, they have to spare him. Naoe has to learn more about the assassins, and Yasuke has wanted leads to track down the Templar Order. It only took about 50 hours, but now they want to focus on, quote, the good stuff. They get the box back, but that puts them in the Templar's crosshairs, and now they have some more loose ends to tie up. And lucky me, I get to play more of this shit.
We both have no paths to trace. All because of this. I wonder how many lives have paid for its passage to us.
Too many to count, but not one more. We'll make sure of it.
Let's start with Yasuke's story, since that one is more interesting. Only when there's anything to do with the Templars does Yasuke get angry, passionate. Hell, he almost feels like a character. A radically different one than the Drifter who's just moving with the wind, whose traits don't evolve throughout the game. But don't worry, when this is over, he'll just revert to how he was. His first target is Duarte de Mello. He forces some Portuguese boats to dock in Obama and has some poor boatman take him to Duarte.
Please don't hurt me. Mercy.
Duarte, now.
Like, damn, what are you angry at him for? I doubt he wants to be here, dick.
What did I say about crying? I hate crying.
Stop! Where is Nuno Karo?
To think the Japanese trusted a sword in the hands of your kind. Mistakes of lesser men.
You who speak no more. Not of me, not of my allies. I will make you feel the pain of those you have touched.
Yasuke's ultimate goal is Nuno Karo, and it looks like he'll have to slice through the Templars to get to him, complete with an awkward battle cry. I can't even say the bosses here are very interesting, but they do seem to actually have unique moves. Unfortunately, they are also easily manipulated into doing one specific move all the time. Win some, lose some.
Where is Nuno Karo?
Who wants to know?
Where is Nuno Karo?
Yasuke fails to get anything out of him, and Duarte triggers some trauma.
You are simple, boring, predictable, dull. Just like her. Filth like you does not deserve a name.
My name is Yasuke.
The facial animations, the awkward delivery, the fucking filter, it really brings everything down. He finds a Templar letter. I guess Yasuke can speak the language but not read it. You know, kind of like a certain Holland. So he goes to that priest from the beginning of the game. They catch up and reminisce about Nobunaga a bit.
I will forever be indebted to Lord Nobunaga, he who honored me.
Louise explains how the Templar Order have been around in Italy but were eradicated by a secret organization, and how the letter explains how Kimura K is leading a school of future Templars serving under Nuno Karo.
I worked for him before you and I met.
I remember when we pulled you out. That piece of wood you were drifting on was at the end of its life.
It is good that you found me, Louise. Let us leave it at that.
Yasuke still considers his past a sore spot of discussion and moves on quickly to take out Kimura K. He engages in the recruitment process, more or less.
He's young.
You fought well.
And heads to the school to confront K.
You are ignorant of the Templars, of this world.
Spoken by a traitor to his own land. You lead your people into servitude.
This from the fool who followed Nobunaga. His death gave you freedom.
This fight is the same as Duarte's in terms of manipulating his moves to what I desire, despite having some unique attacks. What is different is that he is the only boss who has 3 phases.
Your cause is my target, K, not you. Abandon it, and
and live.
Where was the sympathy for the Japanese boat guy? You kind of forgot about your nationality bias there. Apparently this is Yasuke's way of talking sense into Kei.
You destroy everything I work for, then demand my surrender.
Don't quit your day job. I don't know what exactly makes him different from every other boss in this game, including the final boss for Yasuke. Even Dumbfucker had 2 phases technically. It's not even the number of phases that make Kei difficult. I was under leveled facing him and I could only take a single hit. They give you this quest early for some reason. Eventually he falls like the rest. He goes on to tell him vengeance is lame, what else is new? He had noble intentions and they still think that filter is good to use here. But we do get his armor afterwards. Yasuke's last destination is in Tamba, where he gets information about the Silver Queen. She can lead him to Nunokaro, the man he's been hoping to find. Tamba is crawling with the Portuguese and Yasuke's presence isn't exactly subtle.
It is him. We should go now. Quiet. It's just for men. I said we should go. Now.
I don't know how you don't find this suspicious, but whatever. He follows the Silver Queen to her house, where she offers him a drink. She's mixing it with something. She doesn't make herself one. He's in a place he knows nothing about. Surely he knows something's up.
My name is Hosokawa Tama.
They get straight to the point regarding Nunokaro.
What will you do when you find him?
It is simple. He must die.
You know this man, then you also know what he is capable of.
If you requested my presence here, that means you know what I am capable of.
I did not ask you here for help.
Then... why? Why did...
I have my orders.
You... what?
And oh look, she spiked your drink, you fucking idiot. Do both of you fucklechucks share the same brain? Why would you not think this was a possibility?
No.
Roll credits. It's over. He's dead. I know he's gotten lucky the last couple of times, but that well has run dry.
You made things difficult for me. You and that shinobi. Killing the Shinbaku. Fine. I get it. But then, the Malu? And the Japanese fella? I took offense.
Oh no. Are you monologuing? I guess he can't afford to with Yasuke being down for the count. Ah, I see. He's savoring the moment because now he's ready to execute Yasuke.
Thank you, Silver Queen, for your service. One last problem for us. Lord Mitsuhide's killer, in the flesh, made your father suffer before lopping his head off.
Father? Dumbfucker had a daughter, and Yasuke, being in the Oda clan for months, has never heard of this daughter at all. Not a single soul mentioned it. Because if they had, he'd probably take more caution knowing who she is and what he did.
Let me finish him off. For what he did to my father.
Well, there's Mitsuhide's spirit. Who am I to deny you vengeance?
No. You have a man tracking you down who you've been watching for some time. You know what he's capable of. Finish the job. Or at the very least, watch her kill him. You can look with your own eyes. You have all the time in the world and he isn't going anywhere. You cannot leave this to chance. You would not leave this to chance. Fuck off. 3 times in this game, the villains leave the people who are the most likely to ruin their plans alive. Because the writers only just graduated middle school, they have no idea how to actually create a believable scenario where a weakened character could get out of certain death without adding the bad guy runs away and doesn't confirm the kill shortcut they're so fond of. At some point, you have to realize how impossibly lucky this is. Huh, Yasuke's not dead. Shocker.
You're supposed to be dead.
If that isn't the fucking tagline for this damn game. So Father of the Year traded his son and daughter to the Templars to collect silver for them. She wants Yasuke's help to free her brother, and in exchange she will give Karo's location to him.
Leaving me alive is a risk to you and your brother. You would not take such a risk.
Unless I had no choice.
Again, how very lucky. Are we sure Yasuke isn't Irish? I'm glad he said the right things to her before the poison kicked in, otherwise he'd be dead. When he drank from that cup, that was before they even initiated a conversation. Imagine if her initial intent was to kill. If the poison was stronger, he'd be dead. The writers' room were really excited to bring this one to the audience. She sets her terms and he sets out to rescue her brother by breaking out and through the silver mine. There are guards outside, so they didn't hear that conversation happen. They weren't curious as to why it took so long. They didn't ask her questions on if the samurai was dead, if they could look, why there's no blood on her. When she opened the door, did no one even take a peek inside to verify? Have we woken up in fucking Coincidence City? He escapes easily and finds the queen's brother in the castle nearby.
Lord Mitsuyoshi?
If you're going to kill me, do it quickly. Better yet, hand me your wakizashi. I will show you how a warrior dies with dignity.
Stop. I can't handle any more badly acted children. Keep him in the cellar. Toss him in the river. The little shit can't leave without getting his katana back, so now it's up to Yasuke.
Why are you helping me anyway?
I promised Lady Tama, my lord.
Alright, calm down, brother. Damn. He gets the katana and makes it to the shrine to reunite the siblings. Despite my complaints, his interaction with the boy is serviceable. It's about as much time as he's ever spent around Russell, which is really funny to think about.
For a second, I thought about it. Pulling the trigger. Then I remembered how you looked at Karo. I mistook it for hatred at first. But then, I saw something else.
You said it was not hatred nor rage. What did you see?
Purpose.
Not sure how you saw anything through his stilted expression, but that's okay. She gives him Karo's location and Yasuke scales the walls to close in on his final target. Aw man, if only I did anything smart like kill that man. I underestimated him, because Yasuke really gives off an impression of underestimation. At least now we can finally see Yasuke's past. What events led him here?
It's alright, Mama.
So Yasuke's mother, as if it wasn't obvious enough, was cleaning the captain's quarters, and a gust of wind from an unopened window blew some papers away. You think I'm kidding, there are no windows open. Plot wind took those papers. Because of that, Duarte opens the door and sees her holding sensitive Templar information. This is bad, apparently. And if those papers were so fucking important, why leave them in the captain's quarters? Better yet, why send these two in to clean if you were worried about the possibility they would touch it? They have to clean the desk that holds the papers, you fucking neurotic ninny. And it's not even like they're doing this for fun. They genuinely think they're spies.
Who sent you?
Look at all of those people. You think they became slaves to get their hands on Templar intel? If they were spies, you'd think Diogo would send his decrepit mother in with him to risk her life? This entire scenario is dumb manufactured drama because the Templars are actually inept losers who haven't earned the right to be smug fucks.
We saw nothing! We saw nothing!
I'm surprised he isn't going to walk away and leave one of his laggies to do it given his track record. But of course, someone pops in just in time for the rescue. An assassin, which I guess explains how Diogo knows about the hidden blade, but I can't not mention how lucky it is that he arrived in time. If he landed even a second later, Diogo would have been mopped off the deck by the rest of the indentured. The distraction leads to Diogo jumping ship before getting shot. He would then float off driftwood to be rescued by the Jesuits that would take him to Japan to become a samurai. It's incredible how both characters would have been killed by the main antagonist only to be rescued by a subset of that same group later on.
It was necessary. I had to set an example to the others. Your mother's death taught everyone how I felt about insubordination.
What the fuck was insubordinate about that event? I can't tell if he's covering his ass or if he's just that stupid.
So, what do you want, Diogo? Revenge? It will get you nothing, I'm afraid.
I love how every time anyone talks of revenge, it's fantastic when they do it, but unfulfilling if their opposition does it. It's the same conversation every time because they have nothing else to clash about. Revenge is actually amazing if you do it right, as Yasuke will soon demonstrate.
The bounty for escaped slaves will be honored today, but only dead.
This isn't intimidating when you're just running away. After a minor inconvenience, he confronts Nuno Karo for the final fight. He has one phase with intermissions of Yasuke tossing him around. I had to equip an engraving that lowers Yasuke's health substantially just to feel something with this combat system. But either way, he gets taken down in less than a minute.
After you killed my mother, I kept my desire for vengeance in my heart. It kept me alive, nourished me, to get to you today.
Yasuke decides he wants to take down the Templars and destroy their order.
Your death will only ever be a message to your compatriots. One that says you should fear us.
My group will send everything at you.
They will try. We will be ready.
Man, this act might be more meaty than I thought. All that aside, I actually kind of like this new Yasuke. It's too bad it's short-lived and we get bland Yasuke again once he gets his vengeance.
Declaring war on the Templars. A fool's errand. Goodbye, Diogo.
My name is Yasuke.
We get it. Your name is Yasuke. You've done this payoff twice in this arc alone. But that is it for his story. They talk of Templars and it's only contained within this 3-hour segment. And while it's marginally better than everything that came before, it still has plenty of issues. But hey, we've got Naoe's assassin arc. Will that fare better? What do you think? Naoe meets up with Hattori Hanzo after a meeting with Iatsu. They talk about the box and he states the same shit he did the last time they talked.
Alive, are you?
Surviving.
Your father?
Dead.
Stubborn until the end.
That's not what happened. You knew what he was hiding.
You don't know what's inside.
My father died protecting it. That's all that matters to me. I will find it.
You don't have to be a fool like he was. Abandon this quest.
No, I made a promise.
It is a path that only leads to death.
Then why am I still standing?
Let them suffer. Let them die in pain.
It killed your father, and it killed your mother. It will kill you next.
Join me because you'll die otherwise like your father and your mother. They're really fond of retreading character beats here. She refuses and he sends her off to a coffin to get some information on the blade she wields and how it relates to the boxes. Inside she finds a journal, which she can't read but apparently Yasuke can.
I was hoping you could help me with this. I can't read it.
Latin.
He can read Latin, but not Portuguese. I'm just confused as to what he can and can't fucking read at this point. The journal contains information on the Brotherhood, and Tsuyu and Mochi were a part of building the sect in Japan.
Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent. I found that tenet in the coffin. Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent. I saw this tenet in the Setsu coffin. If only it was easier to tell who's actually innocent.
Damn, I guess you can't be part of the creed, huh, Naoe? Regardless, there are 4 other locations Naoe needs to travel to in order to learn more about her mother and the creed she served. These segments only loosely tell the exploits of the assassins here, most of whom were slaughtered as they tried to establish themselves. Tsuyu and the others attempted to protect the boxes, but it seems like they failed. She has nothing insightful to say here.
This letter speaks of my mother. My mother was a master shinobi, and her students respected her. I guess she was recruiting in this region. Hide in plain sight. Maybe that's why our blade retracts. To be hidden even when visible.
After reaching the last outpost and with the information she learned from Horsefucker, she heads to another set of ruins, locked by a blade key and some other mechanism. She can't push the rock out of the way, so she has a think. Back when she got her brains rattled by the box fucker. What could she possibly think about here that would help?
Clear your mind. Mushin.
Rest, my bum. I've got you.
The box. I couldn't stop him.
It was my oath, and I failed. I kept so many secrets for so long. Your mother left me with a heavy burden. To protect the box and to raise you, one of 3 imperial regalia. The jewel, treasures the emperor entrusted the Kakushibo Iki to protect, but that was long ago. Back when we met Tsuyu.
My mother.
She followed this foreign creed of assassins. They came to Iga seeking help from Momochi Sandai. Tsuyu stayed with us in Iga. Became a student of Sandai, as Hanzo and I were. We all swore upon her creed, an oath. The creed I should have taught you. It was my oath to the creed, to protect the jewel. And when you came, you were our jewel. We loved you so much. The regalia were safely hidden in Setsu. Our league grew. Our enemies faded. A new foe rose from the shadows. I stayed in Iga with you while the League was slaughtered. The regalia stolen. Only Sandai, Tsuyu, and Hanzo survived. Tsuyu returned in the night. With the jewel, she made me swear to protect it and entrusted me alone. She promised me she would return with the other regalia. She never did. When Sandayu returned, he told me Tsuyu had died. I hid the jewel in the coffin and kept her secret. The League died with her. I played her favorite song. And then, one night, across the valley, I heard someone playing the song back to me. I know it was her. Now, she might be alive. We must find her. If we can just reach Tomiko's, she will help us.
Oh, the whole conversation that was cut off at random intervals? She was awake and aware for all of it, but it revealed too many endgame spoilers, so they cut it off for the player, instead of it being something she wasn't awake to hear given her injuries. That's so fucking lame. Anyways, Nagito reveals Tsuyu left him the box to protect, one of 3 that are apparently important to Japan. When Tsuyu and Nagito met, they trained under Mochi Sunday along with Hanzo, and those 3 would later train under the Creed. They had Naoe later on, and all was good. Until it wasn't. Assassins were slaughtered, and with the boxes at risk, Tsuyu gave Nagito the box that Naoe now has and disappeared, never to be seen again. Nagito would often play her song in memory, only to hear it off in the distance one day. Tsuyu could still be alive. I still think it's incredibly lazy that she kinda forgot about all of the relevant information she needed until now, only hidden by some disingenuous trickery. In any case, this helps her remember the song, which somehow opens the way in. She goes in and finds the spot where the boxes would rest, along with additional confirmation that Tsuyu is still alive.
If you read this, it is because you and our Naoe have been forced from Iga. You may not understand my absence or my reasons for it. They are not the only secrets I have kept from you. I did not die the night our league fell.
But it's not quite over.
Mother?
Hanzo, he's here. Yay. He returns the second box that Iyatsu had, and they have a chat about the Creed, what it means, and a major revelation.
We serve to protect those who could not protect themselves.
To shed a light on this world.
And this is what Lord Tokugawa Ieyasu saw in you.
That convinced him to give you the mirror?
It made him see why I needed it. Redemption.
Hanzo, Nagito, and Tsuyu were close, but of course a friend group wouldn't be complete without some internalized jealousy. You see, despite his attempts to woo her, Nagito and Tsuyu got together eventually, and this made Hanzo upset. These next lines are just comedy gold. You want to hear about what Hanzo did after finding out Nagito and Tsuyu had a child?
And I returned to Mibno. I thought I could conquer her heart, impress her with my exploits. But then, I saw you. The perfect family. This was supposed to be my place. She should have loved me. I heard of a mysterious group offering riches for the regalia.
You sold Ashikaga Yoshiaki their location. Out of resentment.
I did not know who forged it, but I didn't care. I wanted to break them. So I sacrificed the thing Tsuyu loved the most.
Oh my fucking god. You're a fucking cuck. Really?
Becoming permanently cucked made Hanzo big mad. He called up the anonymous Templar hotline and offered information that led to the boxes. This would cause the fracturing of the assassins, Tsuyu running away, and eventually the events of the game. Cucktory Hanzo ruined so many lives because he couldn't handle being second fiddle to a girl he never even tried to ask out.
Did she know of your feelings for her?
My pride would never allow that.
It's not unrequited love. He did nothing and got pissed off because someone else had the balls to do what he couldn't. Oh, but he regretted it immediately. And look, he tried to save them anyways. Isn't that sad? His motive is so funny, and it's made even better knowing how much of a loser he is.
Nagato is a strong warrior, but so loyal to one tiny valley.
A valley you betrayed.
If a mistreated horse kicks off a rider who will not spare the whip, Is that truly betrayal?
Oh, she's heading a league of people that have dedicated their lives to protect Japan from nefarious forces? Well, I don't get to sleep with her, so fuck it. Love hath no fury like a cuck scorned. They would have been fine if not for you. He flaccidly attempts to get Naoe to forgive him after that amazing speech. And then there's one last choice. Forgive him or attack him. I know it's probably hard to remember, but Naoe's arc since Act 1 has been that vengeance only serves to hurt the wrong people. It makes things worse, and her outlook then becomes to fight the Shimbumafu for the sake of protecting the people of Japan. Yeah, she kind of forgot, but I certainly fucking didn't. The writers clearly forgot, because why is this even an option? It's because if there's no attack option, Naoe will be missing her final fight. Okay, I see. Good job, guys. Let's just go over it. Forgiving Katori skips the fight, and they agree to both look for Tsuyu.
You really believe my mother is alive?
I do.
And if I go with you, you will help me find her?
Or die looking.
A wise boy taught me that if we want to move forward, it cannot be towards vengeance. Go. I will wait for your message.
Lord Ieyasu was right. You are the future of our country.
Gonna be honest, that felt pretty anticlimactic. Like there should have been more there. Well, only one choice left.
Enough! I want justice!
Perhaps I deserve death, but not by your hand. And not now.
You don't get to decide that!
I will not die before I know Tsuyu's fate. We can find out together.
Keep my parents' names out of your demon mouth!
Yes, this Naoe has learned nothing. Keep going, you're doing great. Notice how all of the bosses with actual new attacks are shoved at the end of the game? Feels like they gave up for 90% of the development. It certainly shows. The banter here also sucks, but that's nothing new.
Obstinance runs in Fujibayashi blood.
Stop talking about my family!
No Fujibayashi ever won against the Hattori, even no training ground.
First time for everything!
Alright, I chose this path to kill the cuck, so let's commit. Never mind, Naoe suddenly remembered what her arc is supposed to be.
Vengeance is a whirlpool. We've both been caught in its spiral. It stops here, so you will not forgive you. Unless I do first. So I'll forgive you. Return to Kakushibaiki, and together, we will find my mother.
Call, and I will come.
A choice that doesn't matter? Well, at least they're consistent. She ends the cycle of vengeance, despite how awesome it is to allow the cuck to search for Tsuyu. All's well that ends well. It's almost as if there's more to the story. Oh, god damn it. What do you mean I need to complete Russell's journey? When the fuck was Russell so integral to the plot? Because you said so? Oh, fuck me. Alright, so what do we have to do for Russell? Well, he goes back to his temple to check on the tanuki that he found. Then he makes soup for the monk that was looking after him. And then he goes out to meet him on his pilgrimage, where they try to justify the rushed relationship between Russell and the leads.
You can see when two people fit. When they will be better together.
I'm not even trying to be reductive. That's all that happens in these quests. You don't even learn much new about him.
Why do you want to study the sword? I have never seen this side of you.
I have to. It's my duty.
Is this about Naoe?
And what she did at Katano, the night we were surrounded by soldiers. I couldn't talk or move or anything. Like I was a statue. But Naoe stayed with me. She protected me. And I want to do the same for her. For all my family.
His most involved role is when Yasuke gets recruited, and even if you somehow like that portion, he does nothing else like it. There's no journey to be had here. It's just more busy work. His last quest finds him trapped in a chest, probably imagining elaborate dungeons with tears running down his face. Tomiko can't get him out, so Naoe and Yasuke have to. Russell wanted to make a banner for the group and spilled some ink, so now we have to find it and plant it. By the way, this is what is considered to be equal to Yasuke and Naoe's arcs.
Sorry about the ink, Auntie Tomiko.
I always knew you'd make a mark on the world, Junjiro. I just didn't know it would start on my floor.
Please go away. The epilogue is just talking to everyone in the hideout and getting their last remarks. Doesn't matter who you choose, they mostly say the same thing, with the exception of the first person you chose to sleep with getting an extra line of dialogue.
Now you can thank me for that night of passion we spent together. I don't count my favors like you seem to, but I know it was more than twice.
Oh, we can paint together. There are so many animals to paint. just like the old days.
Holy shit, can I please kick him? When all of that is done, Tomiko notices a letter from Hanzo to Naue, revealing he has a lead on Tsuyu, and he gives her some gear. Russell wants to be an assassin too. This comes out of nowhere and isn't developed from anything we've seen of him. But whatever, it's over. We got through it. The only thing left of note is some Animus fragments, because they forgot to develop that too. All it contains are some memories about an assassin who lost his way until he found a new path to renew his faith in the Creed, the Templars' reach in Japan and how they orchestrated the Shinbumafu and Nobunaga's downfall, and then some teaser about the Animus and its figures fighting each other, I guess. It's so largely unimportant, but it's clearly a teaser for things to come. I'd prefer if they went with a better alternative. This was one of the worst endurance tests I've ever experienced. Ubisoft threatened the release of Shadows for a while, and unfortunately they've made good on their promise. The prologue, while it had its issues, at least seemed promising. A good old tale of revenge in feudal Japan. Sounds great, but the backdrop can't save Shadows from being a miserable, lazy, poorly written, hastily slapped together game that strives to waste your time in everything it does. The mostly unskippable seasonal cutscenes, multiple tutorials in the first hours, searching in temples and praying at shrines, progression tied behind monotony. The Animus quest that reset on a semi-weekly basis to keep players on their battle pass. The scout system that creates a meaningless extra step in finding an objective. You can't even sell and buy items in a normal amount of time. They had to patch that in an update. The hideout is half-baked, the stealth is half-baked, the combat is half-baked, the bosses suck, the AI sucks, the gear is unbalanced. The relationships are rushed and unbelievable as a result. The scaling is awful. The world is too large for its own good, with repetitive activities and events strewn about. And for such a large world, it feels homogeneous and unchanging, save for the inclusion of seasons. Ironically, if they were removed, it would be very apparent just how frozen everything is. The people in it never react to the events of the world as the story progresses. Despite the number of quests, it never felt more isolated. And the characters. Oh man, what is there to say? What isn't there to say? The main set of antagonists consists of a group of Party City mask-wearing clowns whose sole motive is power. Their deeper reasons are barely expanded on to even care about them before they are unceremoniously killed and tossed away. Considering they use scouts and spies interchangeably, you'd think we could use them to gather intel on these guys, learn some things about them, maybe even give them some fucking character. That would pad things out under the current system, but if they really want my time, they can at least earn it. The Lords are no better though. They show up, disappear, and die to get replaced by the next seat warmer that repeats the cycle. Their influence is heard and never felt. Dumbfucker is the shining example. He claims Nobunaga was a shitty ruler, took over, accomplished nothing, and was promptly trashed soon after. He does all of this elaborate shit to dethrone the man in order to take over, and immediately when victory is close at hand, he lops off his brain and curls up in his cave, surprised when all of his loose ends trip him up to do him in. I can't even compare these lords because they're all the same. They claim to be the best option for the country, and yet they do fuck all. And that could be an intentional through line with any other game, but certainly not with Shadows. Then there are the leads. Naue's story begins in Iga. She trains to become a proper shinobi to help defend her community while her father grapples with her choice to put herself in danger, despite training her beforehand. She gets thrown into a whirlwind of truths and secrets that were once hidden from her, and after the loss of her home and family becomes driven with the want for vengeance. And it goes really well, until, you guessed it, her brain shuts off, getting manipulated by Dumbfucker to kill a man that also destroyed her home. But this was a bad thing, apparently. That, combined with Russell reciting a sob story about a bad man still doing bad things, forces her to evaluate what she fights for. From that point forward, she fights to protect Japan and strays from her path of vengeance. Until she doesn't. She's observational and picks up on details no matter how small. Until she doesn't. She makes it a constant reminder to never harm the innocent. Until she does it. Naue started as a pretty strong character until she wasn't. And it doesn't help that her performance lacked any punch when it mattered. And her constant hypocrisy and contradictions throughout the story taint any positives that I did have for her. Even by the end, they don't know what they want Naue to be in terms of her morals. Wherever her story goes doesn't matter at this point. Yasuke has lived his life in servitude. For how long, who knows? But after landing in Japan, he gets a chance to do something greater. Oda Nobunaga takes him in and turns him into a warrior, a powerhouse samurai whose skills even exceed the greatest of Japan's men. He is so good he only needs less than half a year to be considered a one-man army. He is feared and admired. His reputation is known to all. Yasuke is just a shit to everyone around him, to the point where he might just be the most liked figure in the game. He knows what he is from the start. He knows what values he upholds, how he cares carries himself. He never changes his disposition. Unlike Nawe, he never needs to learn any lesson. He has no flaws. When hunting the Templars, it's not even like his anger gets the better of him. In fact, it only serves him well. Yasuke is one of the most static characters in gaming, and his story is bland and uninteresting. He gets saved by an assassin, to get saved by Jesuits, to get saved by Nobunaga, to get saved by Dumbfucker, to get saved by Russell, to get saved by Nawe, to get saved by Dumbfucker's daughter because his story would be dead before arrival otherwise. The man is carried by convenience. Everything he needs is handed to him. There's hardly any struggle, and despite what they say about his story being one of self-discovery, there's no crisis of identity. You could cut him out of 90% of the game and absolutely nothing changes. His inclusion is an afterthought to fulfill the dual protagonist mechanic that's heavily weighed toward the assassin, fucking obviously. And I guess Russell is sort of a lead. The game wants to put his story on the same level as Nawe and Yasuke. Beyond Nawe's recovery, his quest and his presence are so minor, and yet I'm supposed to get the impression that Yasuke has the same kind of relationship with the kid as Nawe does. He's an irritating leech that turns into a plot device, and nothing happens with him that facilitates his apparent growth into wanting to follow in both of the lead's footsteps. Shadows tries to present one of the most surface level themes, that being vengeance and forgiveness. It attempts to show how vengeance is a fruitless endeavor, and a dark, lonely path that doesn't end up giving you what you want. It wants to tell you that while people are capable of doing bad things, that doesn't mean they're all bad. Forgiving them and allowing them to be redeemed paves the way to stronger bonds and a brighter outlook on life. This is reflected through Yaya and Russell, as well as Nawe and Yasuke partially. Shadows treats its theme as an afterthought. Apart from Ochi, none of the Shimbumafu can be redeemed because the game has already determined their fates. No choice changes the outcome. It's not like you can convince any of them to join the cause because they were dead before that choice is shown. I guess they were just too bad to be forgiven. It's not even as if vengeance is shown to be a net negative either. When Nawe achieves her vengeance, she gets to avenge her father and track down her mother. When Yasuke achieves his vengeance, he gets to let go of the past and have a new mission to pursue. They both get what they want and lose nothing in their pursuits. The antagonist would also have a flawless plan of vengeance had they actually committed to their goals. What I get from this game is that vengeance is great when there are no loose ends. Shadows is a game where once you play the first 5 hours, you will have played it all, and I wish I realized that sooner. An overbloated mess that long overstays its welcome. Too many cooks burning down the kitchen, and that's made clear by the 2-hour-long credits. If this is what the Assassin's Creed franchise is, I'll take good care to avoid it entirely. This game is no higher than a 4, and that's being generous. But hey, that DLC will surely turn things around, right? Can't wait.